Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup. Today it's me, Bozomax, accompanied by Nash. Nash, I've missed you,
Hi,
man. I've missed you.
I've missed being here. I'll be completely real. It's genuinely surreal to be able to properly cast again for the ESA, like actually be around, actually have consistent days to do so.
Mhm.
And I've been trying my best to keep a little bit caught up. I did get some information a little earlier on from Goatnax in the channel saying that the bigger maps do generally favor CrownZero. So with it being the map pool it is so far. We'll have to wait and see to look at that soon enough. But it's looking pretty good for both sides overall.
Yeah, I mean, right now we are in round four, the highest section of the Swiss bracket. So in theory, like we have already seen two teams qualify last week or 2 weeks ago actually, and two teams getting eliminated. And also this week we have seen two teams promote again. So in generally, like we are getting closer. The teams are getting more well matched to each other, like more than ever before, even more than that we've seen in round one and two. And so as the Swiss bracket. It's just one big filter system, and well, this just ensures that we are getting great matches. Like especially before, like what we have seen this week, we have seen both MVG and MG minions both lose matches this week, meaning they will be playing in 2 weeks from now in round five, where the winners will like be promoted and the losers will be eliminated. So there's going to be a lot of good teams in round five in like a very dangerous spot, which just shows really like how cool this competition is this season. Well, nice to get a bit of a better idea of what we may expect today. Let's just take a quick look here on the predictions that we have gotten, both from the production crew and from the community. And well, we can see a clear team being favored here, right, Nash?
Yeah. Quite clearly, CrownZero is the favorite, and realistically, I don't blame a lot of people. They are currently flawless in Swiss. Uh, as far as I'm aware. Oh no, they're not. They lost one game. Sorry, I'm going schizo. They lost their last game against LDL, which realistically was also kind of expected. But
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, they they have a pretty good win rate. Like a few of their games ended 2-0. I'm pretty sure every single one. If I'm not, oh no, they had one that was 2-1. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, they've got a pretty good win rate. They're pretty confident and they're pretty assertive, especially on these larger maps. So I'm pretty interested to see where they decide to take this, whether they just try go for that sort of aggressive style of play that we see brought into the fray by
Yeah.
a lot of the European teams nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
or if they go for that sort of more passive sort of style of play that we see a lot more from even some of the American teams. So I think it'll be something that is kind of in the air, and we'll have to see
Mm-hmm.
sort of how we start. I think the very first round will be a really good indicator as to how the attacking
Yeah.
side's going to decide to initiate.
Yeah, indeed. And well, to get an even further idea of what we may expect of these two teams, we have a little bit of a head-to-head standing here generated by OPL. So this is purely based on OPL matches. So always take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But we can see, well, that's actually very interesting, especially those maps, Nash. Bank, best
Yeah,
map for Ground Zero, worst map consulates, best map of Ground Zero consulates, worst map Bank. So this, of course, makes me wonder immediately whether we're going to see those maps, which we're going to find out in a moment. But also, of course, the win rate is pretty close for these two teams, 52 in the favor of Ground Zero and 47% in the favor of Project Black X. So
I want to
even that is.
also I want to also just add that to my uh pride, I guess, to my happiness, to my avail,
Yeah.
um, Consular is the most picked map in this season. Just
Yeah.
full stop. So I'm so happy that now Oregon's sacked off. We're finally seeing new maps
Oh, yeah.
rotate in, and the fun thing about it, Clubhouse not even in the big three.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. And talking about those maps, like
It's
we know
Shova.
kind of like how map picks have changed quite a bit. And here we can see it like Chalet being banned quite early, Clubhouse also being banned just before those map picks happened, leaving Bank and Cafe as the first two map picks here for tonight. And then if it happens that both of the teams win one map each, now we will go to Skyscraper as one of those side maps. A map that is kind of in the underpicked section, I believe, right now for this season so far. but
Yeah.
which is also in a way understandable. But that would also be a very cool match to see
I have been
happen.
told by Goatnax that
Hmm.
Skyscraper is one of CrownZero's preferred maps, like one
All
of their
right.
favorites. So we'll have to see how they actually perform on there. And yeah, it looks like we are just going to be heading straight into the game.
Yeah.
Microphone goes back down on the table, and I'm not going to be carrying that around anymore as
Yeah.
we're getting into things. What do you think of these bans that have already come through?
Yeah, because like there's of course a little bit of a heads up that we need to give to our viewers right now. Of course, like yeah, this match, as you might have noticed, has been delayed quite a bit because one of the players had some issues. Oh, we are seeing Ogon's
Oh,
feed crash. Okay, there we go. It's back apparently.
I think we have some
But
Black
yeah,
Dragon supporters.
yeah, it was a bit scary, but at least it's back right now. But like yeah, the little heads up that we need to give here. One of the players was
Oh,
delayed
my
due
VLC
to,
is very loud. 1 second.
yeah, just go ahead
Okay,
and fix that.
crack on.
But basically, yeah, like the one thing I wanted to say is that one of the players had a bit of an issue with the game file got corrupted or something. I had to reinstall it, and both teams agreed on waiting. But just kind of to decrease the delay even further, we decided to already do the map of the operator bands in the chat. And here we can see Dokubi and Mira there from the side of CrownZero, and then Monty and Zami there from the side of PBX. Where I mean, in general, Nash, like you're more the analytical person rather than me, but these operator bands seem perfectly normal to me.
Oh, I hate Azami. Azami needs nothing. Sorry, I will say this every day it happens. Azami off the board is so good for literally any map. I will say it again and again and again. Azami is the only map that can turn any position into a power position just by the use of a button. It is insane. Monty is another one of those operators. So both of those going off the board, banned by the same team, is also going to be what I thought we froze for a second there, but this guy just stood still. But yeah, like Monty is another one of those operators. Again, he doesn't even have to have a gun in his hand to be oppressive, which is something you really don't want in a game like Siege. I really like this warden pick at the top of the blue stairs. And then on the opposite side of the bans, the Dekebi, pretty standard ban, as much as she got a nerf to the point where 30 seconds into the round is when you get your first phone call. She's still really good. Just the ability, like if you took away her ability to call people and remained the ability to be able to hack these phones to, you know, take the defender camera, she'd still be a pretty well picked operator in some situations. So I think taking Dekebi off the board's fine. Taking Mirror off the board basically just makes it so basement's a lot harder to hold. So I think these are fine. Azami and Monty, pretty good bans for just trying to deny entry, and the opposite side is pretty much denying setups. So I think this is pretty good indicator of the teams wanting to go for different styles of play.
Yeah. Yeah, for now we can see that the attacking side of CrownZero has already made a nice entry into the building. Like they've kind of secured most of the building except the basement, of course, where the bomb site is located, which made perfect sense because BBX has decided to not do any roaming whatsoever, which is perfectly understandable on a map like Bank or this bomb site in particular. Like you don't need to roam here at all. And the Warden was beautifully countering the flashbang with his utility. Unfortunately, not finding there the second onto UK as UK now finds Nerds. So now we are already finding us as the 4 versus 4 Twitch, quite low on HP from that shotgun blast of that Warden. But with 45 seconds, yeah, they actually do have to hurry a little bit, even though there was no roam happening, no real delay there from the side of the defense. They don't have that much time remaining, right, Nash?
Yeah, not really much left to go. There is only 30 seconds. They're going to want to try and get the plant down on this single wall. The Vigil's going to be able to hold it from long, which is beautiful setup from the defensive side. I really, really like the use of this Vigil inside a garage to hold it instead of Cade. They're just popping off these gadgets and getting ready for the... This is going to be a bloodbath, by the way. Bozomax, I hope you're ready, because it's about to unfold before our eyes.
Yeah, there it comes. Riz with the first kill there onto Future, leaves us with a 3 versus 4 Termite, attempting to go for the plant. Ash with a gunfight there onto Pizza, but Ollie with the kill there onto Loki, with his fire from the Goyo charge. Meanwhile, the plant has gone down, the Termite has lost life, and the Twitch unfortunately gets injured on the floor. But with the defuse already planted, of course, the timer goes on, and as the defenders now find the final injured attacker, they have plenty of time to go for the defuse, and with Rishas just going for the defuse, they are ready to secure the first round here onto the board in the favor of Project Black Axe.
Yeah, not enough setup.
Sorry?
The attackers, not enough setup.
Yeah, like I said, like they took quite a bit of time. Like, yes, there was no roam happening. The defenders were not really slowing down the attack whatsoever, but still they took their time. And I think they lost quite a bit of time, maybe just by not having the proper drone preparation, like not the proper information at the beginning, but also on blue stairs towards server. They took their time to get a proper entry there, and yeah, I think they just cost CrownZero a little bit too much time, and caused them to not have enough time to go for an actual execute. Really.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where, like, if you look at it from a very 2D perspective, it's pretty obvious what went wrong. Not able to get the hatches, losing a man on the blue stairs, as much as it was the Amaru, which is an extremely useless pick. When it comes down to like utility and things like that, she was carrying flashbangs.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're not going to do much. You're just a fragger. So it's like you're left in this dilemma where you've lost a player. Realistically, it's just your guns. You have no ability to get the hatches because you messed up your impact DMPs. You have no capacity to actually be able to filter through the stairs without having some sort of angle. You have no garage control, so the Vigil can watch you from long angles while you're trying to go for the default plant, so you have to tuck in the corner opposite the door. You're tucked in the corner opposite the door, so that means your escape's really difficult to actually manage. And you get left in a position where that person that is on the plant is probably just going to be stacked. Like, that person needs to just die. Like, they're probably not going to escape. Is what it is. So you need to keep the rest of your team safe.
Oh.
And Twitch, as we know, was not in a position to be able to A, refrag, and B, hold the diffuser.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, we're still analyzing the previous round, some stuff has happened, Nash. We have seen the Ace lose his life. That's a huge loss here for the defense.
Oh, massive pick.
In exchange for it, of course, the defense has also lost an operator, which is the one my also pretty big loss, as of course his utility recharges over time, but not as big as at Ace. As Ace is quite crucial, but luckily for the attacking side, they have now also find the Tubero, so they do find themselves in the man advantage with a 4 versus 3. So it's not too bad for them to be in this position whatsoever, but not having the opportunity to do any hard reaching whatsoever is gonna hurt them.
I don't like the choice of IQ with diffuser here. Your 3-speed with a phenomenal weapon, as much as the GA is better now. It's still a very good weapon to have. Very good thing to have up and about. I mean, I understand the choice of wanting the AR of the Flores up as well, considering it's one of the lowest recoil guns of the game, meaning it's one of the most consistent, etc., etc. There's a lot of arguments to it. I just think Flores should be the one planting. Finka loses her life on the head holes to the Valkyrie, as well, another one found. Pizza just going off on this angle right now.
Yeah, with just over a minute remaining, we find ourselves in 2 versus 1. The Nickets here playing as the Grim, trying to get some control to here, trying to contest some of those defenders, but with so many shotguns in play, it's just a very difficult position for him to be in. And as Visuals get the kill there onto Nicket, it's all coming down here to the Flores, was laying on the floor. All he knows the position and finds the kill. And once again, we see yet another round here going to the side of PBX, Project Black X in short. And PBX starting things off well. An 0-2 here on the defense, of course. I don't know exactly how these stats are looking for ESA Cup, Nash. I don't know if you have it in front of you, but
I do have the Wikipedia open. I can take a quick sneaky little peek. At the moment, side statistics are wait, I actually need to go on to the right page. So side statistics for
Bank
across the entire season 9 so far is 42% attacker win rate. So it is very defender sided. It is the second highest defender sided map in the pool.
Yeah, okay. So it makes sense that PBX is doing well so far. I'm also taking a look. This is actually CrownZero's map pick, however. So we do expect some success here from CrownZero at one point. But even if they turn this into a 2-4 score and then go into the defense and then find success there, then it's definitely still all possible for them. But PBX getting those first 2 rounds of the board is definitely a good start for them, especially given that this is not their map pick. And well, things, yeah, like I said, things are going well for them.
Yeah, that they are at the moment. But we are on the tertiary site. This is where we make or break a lot of defending teams, because realistically, if you're not able to defend this one, then the best you're going to be able to do is that 4-2 split. We can see Loki looking for the camera, can't quite find it, decides to just leave it in the end, and repels up. He's just going to be watching the lobby flanks. This is something that G2 like to call split theory, which is essentially where you just create angles that you're going to hold and watch as an attacker in order to hold rotations from these defenders that are being forced. But Ollie with a beautiful shot onto the man, repelling on the window. That's crazy. That's mental.
Yeah, like Ash was so ready for that shot, but somehow Ollie was even more ready. He knew where to look. He doesn't have such a good scope as the Ash did, but still finds the shots and gets the kill. Beautifully done here by Ollie, and beautifully denying that strong attacking.
I believe he does have ACOG. I believe. I think he's just using the. I think he's just using the old. The old 0.5x or 1.5x.
All right.
Chassis.
Yeah.
ACOG.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Vod has found the killer onto Yuki with a C4, but then flicks with a response there onto Vod, refragging that player. So now we're finding ourselves in a 3 versus 4 once again in the defensive favor. But as there's still 1.5 minutes remaining now, there's still quite a lot of time here for the defenders, or actually for the attackers really, to do their work, to get some proper control, to weaken some of the defensive structures, and work things back in their favor.
Oh, they're so aware of this man in elevator. They do manage to find the kill. That swing was almost dreadful from the Ram, swinging a little too late, as if she'd have just swung earlier, it would have pressured the Valk a lot more and given them a lot more of an opportunity. By the looks of things, yes, he is going to be using that ACOG on the Vector, and it's going to be up to this Mute in the corner of the bomb site. As, well, one comes in, shotgun to the face, you're not going to survive, and it's now a 2v2 situation. Health on side of the defense, but now it's even. Both teams trade a pick, and well, it's just going to be Mute v Ram.
Yeah, this is going to be the closest round that we have seen so far, ending with a 1 versus 1 situation with just 30 seconds on the clock. Both players don't know exactly where they are of each other, but they might have a feeling, especially Mute, of course, as the Ram just threw in some of those flashbangs. So it might have a good idea. Red Pink coming out as well, so he knows exactly where this Ram is going to be coming from. So the Mute is definitely in a favorable position. Throws up the C4, does do a little bit of damage there onto the Ram, but not quite enough to take her out. But any gunfight is going to be easier, and Spitz and then finds Naked there with his secondary weapon. It's yet again another round going to the side of PBX. And this is also the reason for CrownZero to come out with a tactical timeout, as things are not going the way they were hoping to.
This defense is so clinical. I genuinely really like it. There's a lot going right, but I won't take away from the fact that there is also a lot going wrong. Kind of feeding picks in the early round, something we saw, or I say early round, in the mid round, should I say. Because something we saw at the very beginning, if anyone remembers back to the prep phase of the round that we just watched, they opened the hatch in elevator. And Valk decided to take a ballsy swing, a risky swing, in a 4 versus 3 situation out of the elevator instead of preserving her life and dropping. Because they knew the white corridor was clear, the Ash that was watching the split theory window was dead, and nobody was in main lobby because they had cam, because Ash wasn't able to find it early on. So that means they had all the information in the world to play with and a man advantage, and they just sacked a Valkyrie for no reason. That's my take on the situation. I think if they were to preserve that life, bring him down to site, it would have been a lot less close, a lot easier to settle these crossfires among players, and potentially a much more convincing round. But generally speaking, it's very, very good to watch some of these players, especially players like Pizza, especially players like Ollie, who are on right now and are just playing these stupidly powerful and good positions. The marble stairs being played by the Goyo, moving over into archives, and that slow sort of relief of pressure gives so much more opportunity to a defender. And we are going to the 4th site in the rotation, just for anyone that hasn't realized. So I'm pretty interested in how we see this. This is a very BDS style play, as we've seen in Europe.
Yeah, it's a bomb site that we don't see that much anymore. Like back in the days, like in Rank 2, almost have seen it every time, or before Bank even got reworked, it was one of those bomb sites, generally the 3rd or sometimes even the 2nd favorable position to play in. And now these days we don't see that much anymore. Well, so very excited to see it being picked. And well, one thing that I do remember from the times, Nash, is that the top floor control is going to be so incredibly important. both for defense and for the attack, because of course the defenders can use it to defend from above, but while the attackers of course can use it to attack from above. Once the attackers have top floor control, it's near
that
impossible
3
to
mute
play
jammers?
outside. It might have been. I've missed it, but
I think that's 3 mute jammers. Sorry, I also just wanted to add that in the words of EFAC, that's amazing, by the way. The quick little jump out, managed to find a kill. Obviously, you lost 2. That's unfortunate. IQ's also down on the second floor. There's just a bloodbath going on right now, and I was trying to explain. In the words of EFAC, you know, going to the fourth site in the rotation and then winning it, it's entirely just a flex. They don't need to do it at all. That is like, it's not something they really care about. They're just doing it because they know they can.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it's showing
consider.
power. Yeah, it's showing strength. It really shows what you as a team are capable of. And especially with being in an 0-3 situation, like you have the room to do so. Like you don't have much to lose. If they end up losing this round, then it's completely fine. They have shown that they can perfectly defend any of those other bomb sites, and if they lose it, then they still have some proper chances to still turn it into 1 versus 5. But for now, things, even though this is maybe the least favorable bomb site these days, PBX is still doing fine on the defense. They now find themselves in a 2 versus 2 situation. Yes, both of the 2 players have suffered quite a bit of damage, especially the mutes, was just being literally 1 shot away from being killed. But at the same time, also the Termite did suffer a bit of damage there. And the time also is now approaching that last minute, meaning the time is starting to tick for the attacking side.
Yeah, it was a questionable start from the defense, but Rizraz finds 1, and we are going to be left in this 1 versus 2 situation. Health in favor of the Ash, even though the man count is not. They are going to be able to set themselves up a crossfire, as we can see from their positioning on the, well, not on the site, but holding towards the diffuser. In comes the swing from the Ash. Bullets missed, not quite found onto the head of the Tuberau. Is going to be looking for another opportunity, but not going to be fed to him.
Yeah, with just 30 seconds remaining, we are finding ourselves in a 1 versus 2. CrownZero desperately looking to finally have a successful offensive round here. It's definitely possible, especially given those 2 defensive players are extremely low HP. He finds the first, takes down Nerds, and now finds himself in a 1 versus 1. He has no clue where the last player is, but finds the shot onto Rizraz, and CrownZero finally breaks the losing streak and secures their first offensive round, as they now put the score on a 1-3. And now sends us over to round 5, where they still could technically be turned into a 3-3 even split. But given how PBX have been doing on the defense so far, I doubt that this round loss will stop them.
You say that, and I do agree with you to an extent, but I think that was a huge ego. That was a huge ego check for CrownZero. That's what I think. I think that generally speaking, they've gone to that site just to prove that they're better than the team they're against, even though they're both in the same position, and just to really like assert themselves as sort of like the kingpins in this match. But after like losing that 4th site, that's when they're kind of like, all right, let's try now. Let's stop having fun. Let's stop messing with the enemy, playing with our food. Essentially, they don't want to be doing that anymore, because they know that realistically they tried to embarrass the enemy side. It didn't work, and now they've got to just crack on as if nothing happened.
Yeah, of course, PBX took a risk. They lost.
That's a beautiful angle by Cade, by the way. I don't know if you saw that on the marble stairs.
No, I actually wasn't paying attention to that one, but I see the holes that he has created there. Yeah, I mean, that is indeed a good angle.
No, the rotate is lined up so you can view the marble stairs from the vault door.
Vault. Yeah.
Yeah, from inside vault.
Yeah, I've seen it before. It's definitely a very strong angle, and especially like if a player with like such a good scope is holding the angle from a long angle. I think as an attacker, you just don't stand a chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you descend those stairs, so that's definitely something that if the attackers are aware of it, they wish, like they should want to avoid those stairs for now, which is totally fine. Like they can come from garage, they can come from the elevator hatch. There's a hatch at vault. There's a hatch at the hallway. They can come from CCTV to offer like security. There's so many different ways they can come from, so they could perfectly avoid it. I just hope that the attackers do have the information.
Yeah, not really a lot to say about this attacking side right now. They've still got 2 more rounds, so 2 extra bits of potential for them to pull something together. At the moment, they're aware of the warden on the blue stairs. Maybe they're not aware that it is a warden, but they're aware there's a player there. And that's really good for this side. They're actually going to be able to get one of these main site hatches open. And, well, they're just bringing along the Thatcher just to be certain that they get these EMPs off. So, pretty interesting that they're managing to get in both of these hatches open. And I think a really big telltale sign of how this round is going to go is whether they actually play it and play it well. Because if they don't, like, Buck realistically here should be going into the mini office to make a rotate into open, and then making another rotate out into the square side, so it's a lot easier to rotate between those hatches on server and also main. That C4 goes out, isn't able to find anything. But I feel like, again, there's just not really enough setup going on.
Yeah, the attack is definitely taking the time to secure get some control, but finally, at least they cleared a play onto blue, which was such a pain in the ass in the very first time when they were attacking this bomb site. So at least they have now dealt with the player and can actually fully start focusing on the bomb site. But yet again, there's only 40 seconds remaining. That's very limited time, especially with the smoke who's still having 2 of his smoke canisters in total. Just used his second, only has 1 remaining right now. But with this little time remaining, this is going to be very crucial. They need to find a way in. They need to get a defusal plant or get some kills. And with this little time, they do not have too many opportunities. Last smoke canister comes out, so they really need to wait for those to run out before they can actually go for the plant and make their entry. They have various hatches being opened up, so they can use those as well. And this is the moment they're going for the drop. Rizres finds the first kill there onto Fleeks. We can see various attacks running into the bomb site at the A-bomb. Diffuser is attempting to go down. Ollie with a kill there onto Future. Still the diffuser attempted to be planted, but finally being stopped in the very last second. Almost managed to stick it. But as the timer then does run out, the side of PBX, the defensive side, managed to win yet again another defensive round and puts the score on 1-4.
So close. So close to ending on kills.
Yeah.
That was actually unbelievable that Buck didn't kill the guy in garage, and I have no words. It was a really good salvage. After they heard the C4, they knew they had to move the plant, but the plant couldn't exactly move anywhere, so the plant had to swing. And at that point, your entire team has to look for kills, because the person that has the staple mantelpiece of the round has to swing. So you all have to then join in and get active. And that was really good from them and really well coordinated from them to be able to do that. But now it's make or break. If they lose this round, it's really likely that they lose the game, or the match, should I say, not the game.
Yeah, that's
really
the thing.
likely that they lose them.
Like, that's the thing. Like, the whole time management of CrownZero isn't too terrible per se. Like, they are managed to get into the bomb site just in time, like get an attempt on the plans. But with the limited time that they have every single time, they don't really have too many opportunities anymore. There's like only 1 plan remaining, 1 spot where they can plant, and once things go wrong, there's just not too much you can do. And this is why they have lost the basement attack twice in a row, like 2 times right now. Like, every 2 times they managed to get in, but with the limited time, opportunities and options were very limited. And they just had to go with what they could do, and it just didn't work out for them. So that's very unfortunate there from the side of CrownZero. They now find themselves in a 1 versus 4. They are now going to the top floor, which was previously won by the side of PBX as well. But if CrownZero can still turn this into a 2-4 scoreline, then I would say things are still pretty doable for either of the 2 teams.
Every single one of these vault cams is like okay at best. I need to do a crash course with some of these players, I think.
Hey, maybe they're so obvious that you wouldn't expect them anymore.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. Either way, they work for what they're intended to achieve, so we'll leave them to it. They're just opening up these windows. A lot of aggression coming out of, I think that was Valkyrie on the windows, so potential to see a bit from her, but Ollie going to be going off with that boss G in the hand, killing the OSA,
the window,
which
is
a pretty big deal. He is stood right there, but he has no idea.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. Meanwhile, 2 kills coming out from the side of CrownZero, securing the mana advantage for their team. So potentially this would be a moment that CrownZero can at least turn this into 2 versus 4, which is decent for them. But before they, of course, can secure the round win, there's still 3 defensive players standing in their way. They got 2. Yeah, with this 3 versus 2, both sides lost another player, which brings us to the 3 versus 2. A charger coming out to open up this bomb set even further. Pizza, however, securing or equalizing the man counts by taking out Future. And with this 2 versus 2 Nash, it is becoming a 1 versus 2. Oh, sorry, 2 versus 1. As Nickit finds a kill there onto Nerds. It's all coming on the pizza here for the side of PBX. The sole left standing defender playing inside. His position is known. He has been droned. So the attacks know exactly where he is. And yes, Flix finds the kill there onto pizza. Secures the 2-4 rounds of 2-4 score here, where we will go into the roll stop right now. And I would say, like I said before, for both of these two teams, given that this map is a defensive favorite map, for both of the teams, it is a very workable score.
It is really. 4-2 on a map like Bank isn't too bad, especially when the win rate for the map hovers around 60% in favor of defenders.
Yeah.
It's a little less than that, but it's still close enough to the point where I wouldn't be too ashamed of myself for calling it 60%. When it comes down to the way that the map's been played so far from the attacking side, I'd say pretty lackluster. They're not doing enough. They're just like this feels like you took a team of COD players and put them on the attacking side of a siege lineup.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't see enough setup. I don't see enough preparation for the execution. I don't see enough widespread positioning. It's all very linear. It's all very like, this is plan, we do this. If don't work, we follow calls, and they move us like a unit, which is a very old NA style of play. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I really don't like it, because something, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Something that was quite well known when NA was playing that style of play was that NA was awful. So we should probably keep that in mind when we look at the side of the defense on this half.
Yeah, that was a very close call there from the glass. Very unfortunately, he didn't manage to secure a kill. He did get damaged himself as well. Because we don't see glass that much anymore these days.
I think he's Ollie.
Like,
Oh, never mind, he is Ollie, Jesus.
Yeah, but Nickit then also using his slug shotgun really like as a sniper as well, finds a kill, finds a headshot. Yuki would have killed it onto wrist res as well, and the defense for CrownZero is starting off very favorable, as they now already find themselves in a 5 versus 3 within the very first minute of this 7th round.
Yeah, I think this site will work very well for the style of play this defensive team or this team on defense wants to play, which is that very like TDM gunfight heavy style of play, and I think that's fine. Where I think they'll start to struggle is the other sites that involve quite a bit more utility, because at the moment we're not seeing enough execution from them. As I said, there's not enough setup, there's not enough execution. I've explained all this before several times.
Yeah.
But it means that those sites that require more utility, more attention, more requirements on being alive in the late round is where we're going to see the defensive side now of CrownZero struggle.
Yeah, and right now we see double the man count on the side of CrownZero, which is a good thing, however, especially as we're now approaching that very final minute. Just 2 attackers standing in their way. We really need to do the work here for the side of PBX, which is going to be a tough challenge. Of course, if they get 1 kill each, the man counts will be equalized and things look a lot more favorable for them. But there is work to be done. 45 seconds. Die Sophia goes for the rappel in, which is a very dangerous move. Fleeks with the kill on the Pizza after Pizza got a kill onto Nickit. Nerd is now inside of the B-bomb site, but of course surrounded by his enemies. And Yuki finds the final kill there onto the final PBX member. A round goes to the side of CrownZero. Their very first defensive round going in their favor, bringing the score to 3-4. Like I wanted to say earlier, CrownZero not doing too well, particularly on the attack. As they were playing pretty like in a laid-back way, really. But now they have gone to the defense. This playstyle will suit them much more, and this is being reflected in this very first defensive round.
So unfortunate. I just looked over at the Rainbow Six broadcast for a second, and I'm watching a Twitch chase around a Clash with 10 seconds on the clock in a 1v1.
Yeah, those are always like the terrible,
I won't
painful
spoil
moments.
anything. I'll just tell you that a Twitch was chasing around a Clash in a 1v1, but I
Yeah,
just found
those.
that really funny.
Yeah, those are just the unfortunate moments you can find yourself in. Where you can really not just do too much, really.
I'm really interested to see how this site goes.
Yeah.
This is the big talking point because I feel like this is the site that requires the most attention when it comes to your setup. I think
Yeah.
I think the attention to detail here is really going to count, and their positioning is also really going to count. I think they're going to roam pretty heavy, as we can see by these Goyo canisters being set up to delay time.
Something PBX didn't.
But the problem is there's so many avenues on the first and second floor just to, you know, weasel yourself around, bob and weave through these little crevices and cracks in the hallways and stuff like that. That Goyo canister's friggin' meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, it is placed there for a reason, of course, a reason that we might not know exactly yet, but it's definitely there for a reason, and I'm curious to see if we will actually figure out what that reason is going to be. But we do see clearly a difference right here now as compared to the defensive setup of PBX. Like
Yeah.
PBX all playing on site, and well, there goes the Goyo canister is completely useless, like you said,
Yeah.
especially if a Twitch comes in. But yeah, like a very different setup here, and this basically tells me that PBX is going to try, CrownZero is going to try to slow down PBX as much as possible, something that CrownZero didn't really experience with PBX in the defense, and especially now with the Echo in play, like at his very last seconds, he can be devastating.
Yeah, like maybe there's a plan to the way this Goyo's set up and the way he wants to try and play things. He's now playing on the main stairs. That Goyo canister probably still existing towards the double door. So I think that with Grim pushing up to him and things like that, there could be a 1v1 situation, but he's in no position to really like use or utilize this canister that he's got outside of the E1. So it's like, what are you doing here? You've kind of just wasted a piece of your utility, and now you're just vibing on marble stairs. So you've kind of picked a worthless operator here. Your Maestro probably isn't going to do a grand amount until like the late round. Realistically, he's just there for a clutch if need be because he's got like 80 bullets or more. And yeah, like everyone else is just kind of there for stall, which isn't really going well at the moment.
No, there's not much happening, but there might be something happening very soon as the crosshair is placed exactly on where the play is going to be arriving from. A bit of damage there done onto Ollie, who's playing as a Nux, trying to approach from the garage with the Nick just waiting here for that Nuck. But again, just being slowed down, not too much happening, just a bit of damage. Of course, probably a lot of it's happening on the other side of the map where Flix gets a kill there onto Wrist, Loki with a kill there onto Pizza, and Nerd with a kill onto Loki, Yuki with a kill pot, and Future with a kill onto Nerd, and Nick with another kill. Just so many kills just happening on the other side of the map. Very unfortunate that we didn't get to see it. But, well, one thing is clear. This was a defensive round win yet again, the second in a row here for the side of CrownZero. And just within two rounds of time since the roll swap, CrownZero has equalized the score and brought us to the 4-4 score.
I have 2 points to make.
All right.
Actually, 3 points to make. First point, this is infuriating. Second point, they're winning every round on kills on the defense. Which again is infuriating. Third thing, they brought all of the stall in the world, and in the first 30 seconds there was a Deimos in server.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Well, I guess that's not the place where they were trying to stall them, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, okay, I'm not knocking PBX here, but if PBX were competent enough to go, they've given us server control, there's no contention on blue, and they made a full rotation to just take a complete flat server push with the server hatch open, that could have been free.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was what they were doing, right? Like, we didn't exactly really see what was happening on the other side of the map. We just saw mostly, like, the contesting between Nuck and Nickit.
We had one of the operators that was capable of dealing with those Maestro cams, Knock, with 2 nades in pocket.
Yeah, that was Garage.
In Garage. Instead of using those nades to, you know, get rid of the Maestro cams, help out with that server push, try and take server, they didn't have as many, you know, C4s as maybe they would have wanted. And I just don't think that was played well by PBX at all.
Yeah.
I think that was awful.
There's definitely some things to point out here, and especially now with the scoreline being evened out, PBX knows that they are a bit more in a danger zone where the opponent is really favoring the defense so far. And well, if they do win another round more, then it will be their opponent in the advantage. And as Ollie does, however, get the kill there onto Future, it's at least starting well here for the side of PBX. First kill secured, 4 more to go to win the round. And with also been making a proper entry into the building already. They are, well, getting a bit of a foothold here and a bit of control from where they can put more and more pressure onto the bomb site itself.
Sorry, excuse me. I had some trap wind for a second.
That's all right.
So yeah, we see a lot of pressure on the second floor right now. Like, you got people trying to push stock. You've got, I'm assuming that's IQ's silhouette just kind of wandering around. You've still got a man on Skylight to hold the main stairs. It's just like they're taking it a lot slower on the attack. Definitely the case. But they've got that same sort of setup where they've got a man close to sight on a window or on a door, just like playing peeks, playing safety peeks in order to try and bait someone out into taking an unfavorable gunfight. They've got the players on the vertical angles, like getting themselves ready to try and take a push, which they lacked on the previous round. And you've also got the people that are ready to actually start taking real engagements. You've got the Ash that is just kind of lurking right now. You've got the Buck who's opening up holes inside of these positions that are a bit off the site or off kilter. And speaking of off the site, there goes Ash's head. Several kills coming your way. Mosamax.
Yeah. A lot of kills happening here. Brings us to the 3 versus the 3 with just 30 seconds remaining. The castle being extremely low on HP. One bullet will easily take him out. So he needs to be very careful in these gunfights. But Pizza with the killer onto Flix. Finds yet another defender. 2 versus 3 right now in the favor of PBX. Who needs to head into the bombs right now if they do want to win. Because the time is starting to tick against them. Only 12 seconds to find the remaining defenders. Loki with the killer onto Vods. Equals out the man count. They need to go for the defuse right now or find those kills. Because Loki finds the killer onto Pizza. It's only one attacker left standing, which is Ollie. He needs to go for the defuse. He's forced to. He needs to stick it. As the other defender is injured at the moment, it's all coming out of niggas, but he finds the IQ, secures the kill, and wins yet again another defensive round, the third in a row, and for the side of CrownZero.
I understand I have pretty high standards, and I'm a bit of a loudmouth, so I tend to just like say things and annoy a few people, because I'm just kind of speaking my mind. But I don't think either of these teams are playing well strategically.
Yeah.
Both teams are very much getting carried by their gunplay, and overall,
yeah, we're having a bit of a sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying, like, they're doing very like constructive strats. They've got like the Goyo on first floor. They're bringing along the Maestro, which we haven't seen in probably about 3 years, but for some reason, we're not playing around these things. Mm-hmm. We're just allowing them to continue and playing our gunfights instead, which is insane to me. I don't see the point.
No, indeed. So definitely here the defense working out very well here for the side of CrownZero. I mean, this is the map pick as well. So the attack was like they only managed to win 2 rounds, but now the defense is working even more in their favor. And it's indeed starting to look like that CrownZero might indeed be better on this map. But before we find out, of course, we need to wait before this match is continuing. I'm hearing that we get a bit of a rehost, but nice, of course. We don't actually need to go to a break, or at least not yet. Because, of course, as we were having a bit of delay earlier, we didn't really manage to go over all of the visuals. And I know there is one visual that you really, really like to go over. It's really your thing. It's, of course, the player stats, Nash. So let's just bring it up right here. We can see it right now. These are exactly the players that are playing right now. So there's no like players like being e-subbed or something that we don't have stats on. This is exactly the lineup that you are seeing right now. So Nash, I'm pretty sure you have some stuff to tell about this.
Well, so to start us off, we'll do our normal thing. We'll go through all the KDs. We got some relatively standard, pretty good KDs on the side of CrownZero. I'm not at all. That's nothing to be ashamed of. The fact that they're negative, but you can ask any player at all. It's super duper hard inside of a competitive scene to maintain a 1.0 or above KD. And the people that do usually tend to be those people that are a bit more free in their team and a bit more capable of just having these positions to get kills. So I think, generally speaking, the KDs won't really tell us much. The thing it does tell us about CrownZero is they're relatively consistent. And the thing that it tells us about Project Black is they have some star players that probably have like good games every now and again, which is pretty reasonable. Riz Raz is struggling. And generally speaking, the overall sort of stats in general isn't really much of a telltale. All I can really say is UK's doing okay on entries. I think he could probably be doing a little more, considering he's been in, what's that, like 31 entry engagements, and you've only won 14 of them. That's less than half, by quite a bit. But on the opposite side, you've also got Peter, who's 3 and 7. Sorry, I almost said 4 and 7. 3 and 7 on entry, even though you've got a 1.26 KD. That's not great. If you're taking that many entry engagements, that needs to be sorted. I don't know why the Cade has so many entry engagements. Fod playing on the supporting role seems a bit odd to me. But is what it is. Teams play the way they play. I don't think any of these stats paint anyone out to be a bad or inconsistent player.
No, definitely not.
But I think that some players need to, refine the things they're trying to focus on, because at the moment, even the costs aren't really that high. I think Pizza has a very good cost. Everyone else is kind of averaging around 50%. And when you have so many different factors that play into cost, I feel like you should be able to, boost that a little higher. Nerdy also with the 62% cost. I almost missed that.
Yeah. For cost, like a 60 is like a pretty average number, right? Like,
as
long as you're like above 60, you're doing pretty well. If you're just under, you're just not doing as well. And the same goes for the EPS ratings. Those are the numbers you're seeing like in the top left of each card. Like 100 is about average or so. So we can kind of see that there's actually 3 players above the 100, all 3 of them being on the side of PBX. So that's kind of impressive, though, that they're all on the side of PBX, which of course is
fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the highest EPS I've ever seen, I personally, I don't know if it's like a record or anything, but the highest EPS I've ever seen was in map 1 of G2 versus who the heck were they playing? I watched the game. G2 versus CAG. And it was Shurip who had, I think it was a 205 in map 1.
205
an insane number. I think it was it was 209. There we go. I got the stat up. 209 is crazy numbers. 21 and 4.
Yeah, that's impressive. Like, I don't know if you have seen Naj, of course, like every round of Swiss we announce or like every round of the game really, we announce our round's MVP based on the EPS rating. For the first round of Swiss, this was Glock from Silent Family, 156 EPS.
That's crazy.
For round 2, this was Senzo from Team Asgard at a 145 EPS.
That's still pretty crazy.
For the third round, this got announced today on Twitter, was again Senzo at 156 EPS. So, like 156 is the highest we have seen so far this season in ESA Cup, and that's already quite impressive. Like you were, the first stat you were talking about was KD, like how it's difficult, for example, to maintain it.
Yeah.
Well, let me just quickly tell you the KDs for these players. Glock had 28 kills versus 12 deaths.
Whoa.
That's in round 1. In round 2, Senzo had 43 kills versus 26 deaths. And in round 3, Senzo had 27 kills versus 9 deaths.
These are some mental KDs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That last one's a 3 KD, by the way.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. Like, these players are doing extremely well. And, well, of course, like I said, like these EPS ratings and DKDs don't mean everything because
Oh yeah, definitely
like
not.
Senzo is in there twice, Team Asgard, but Team Asgard right now is in a round 4 in the low section. They're in elimination, so even though they have such a good player on their roster, as a team, they're not doing too well at the moment.
I would also like to point out that as much as Sharif did manage to get a 209 in map 1, it was barely over 100 in both of the other maps.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was barely over 100 in the second map, and his EPS rating in the third map was 44. So just be aware that like even the higher ones, it can be extremely inconsistent.
Yeah.
But it's like generally speaking, 100 tends to be around the average. 150, someone's popping off. 175 is a life game, and 200 is like just doesn't really happen.
Yeah. And Nash, as I'm just hearing back from our observer, things are taking a little bit longer. There's been this issue going around lately with crossplay, where sometimes people cannot invite the players on the other platform. And of course, we have one Xbox player and our observer is Xbox, while everyone else is PlayStation. So this is unfortunately creating a bit of a problem and a bit of delay. But we are working on fixing this at the moment. I believe like another player is sitting in the lobby up as we speak, which just means that things are going to take a little bit longer than we were hoping to. So we're going to have to throw to a little bit of a break, and then hopefully in 3 to 5 minutes or so, we'll be back with the with the remaining of the first map of today. So don't go too far. Just grab a drink, go to the toilet, and we'll see each other pretty soon. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, our apologies for this very long rehost, which could have been easy and very quick. Unfortunately, took way longer. Again, due to the same issues that we have been experiencing with cross-platform, where well, sometimes you just cannot invite the other platform. Sadly, it's an issue that's been going around for the past weeks, and it's very annoying. But at least after various tries, we have been able to set up the lobby once again, and with this 5-4 scoreline, just like before, we haven't missed anything. We are resuming the match.
Indeed, we are, and I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not a fan of the way these teams play, and I really hope that they're able to, actually start using their brains a little bit, because at the moment with, like, look at the scoreline, it's 5-4. Both teams are relatively evenly matched in just gun skill in general. And I think if they start just playing these strategies a little more, then one team will just be clearly better off than the other.
Yeah. Well, and Nash, like you and me were saying to each other just before we were resuming with this match, it's a bit over this map rather. It's a 5-4 score. CrownZero being 1 point away from the match point and 2 rounds away from even winning this map. So this map could actually be over very soon. It could have been over already if we didn't have the issues. But for now, it's CrownZero in the lead on their own map pick. Only by a round, however. But the defense so far has been going very well for them. I mean, to be honest, every 3 defensive rounds that they have played so far, they have actually managed to win. The defense is going, well, perfect. It's going flawless for them at the moment. But as we do see the first kill coming out from the side of PBX there onto CrownZero, they have lost their first member.
Oh, I just opened Opera GX by accident. Sounds funny. And now I just hear loud noises. Alright, we're fine. We are just looking at, bit of a standstill, bit of a stalemate. One player has lost a lot of health on the attacking side, and one player has lost their life on the defending side. And with it being the Doc is really an operator that you don't want to lose early. He's much better the longer he's alive. He's the same as, the other operators that kind of do that sort of thing. The only difference is he has active utility. It's not passive utility like what do you call it? Like I don't know, Frost, for example, who just places it down and then it kind of just functions passively
passive.
without you
Kind of
having
passive,
to have any input. It's a gadget that needs to be actively used by a player. In comes the blitz through the rotation holes. Flash comes out and almost isn't able to find the kill. I don't quite understand why Cade didn't vault the desk, knowing that the nade came from the window anyway. And also that shotgun shell definitely should have killed because there was blood in that guy's face.
Yeah, well, either way, whatever just happened, Nash, is now back to an equal score 5-5. I always like the scoreline because it means that the upcoming 2 rounds are going to be extremely decisive for this match. Because either we're going to have a winner, meaning that either of these 2 teams wins 2 rounds in a row from now, or we're going to see each of these 2 teams win 1 round each, meaning that we would go to overtime where the match gets extended for a maximum of 3 rounds. Whoever wins 2 of them then takes the map. So for now, of course, it is CrownZero still the defense. They have won 3 rounds so far in the defense and lost only 1, which was the previous one, but they are now also allowed to go back to the basement. In theory, the strongest bomb site on this map, where I'm having high expectations for them.
I'm actually furious that we haven't seen a Bravo on the attacking side.
Yeah, actually, now you say it. Yeah, we see her so often these days, even getting banned quite often lately.
5 seconds left before
I'm actually like really angry about that because it's, I don't know, it's just a little embarrassing that we're seeing this many sort of blunders from both sides. We finally see a Bravo.
Oh, we do. Oh, nice. I think they're listening to us.
He switched last second. You
Yeah.
cheeky boy.
Yeah, no, you would almost say we don't have 3 minutes of delay on, but we do. So whatever you're seeing right now on your screen has already happened.
He's
by the time
trying.
you hear it. But yeah, like, yeah, he is reading perfectly.
one.
Bravo coming out.
I think he got one. I think the one on where the TV screen was that was watching the default plant, I think he got that one.
Oh, but there she goes.
Yep.
That's all she's gonna get, unfortunately. Yeah, Bravo unfortunately already losing her life. Drone's kind of useless. Potentially, if there's still some acting as for information gathering, but that's about it. So that's very unfortunate. Not too much impact there. And well, this leaves us with a 5 versus 4.
Yeah, the only person really able to deal with the camera as well that she has hacked is going to be that Maestro, if it's even hacked, because I didn't quite see. I just think I saw the little particle effect above the Maestro cam, but I can't be entirely sure.
Yeah, with just 1.5 minute remaining, only half of the round has expired. Yes, the attacks have lost 1 player, but they are in a decent position right now. Every single defender, I believe, is playing on site, so they are able to focus fully on the bomb site itself, but they do still have quite a bit of work to do. I don't think every hatch has been opened up yet. Ibana has 14 pallets even, which is still a lot, which of course are meant for those hatches mainly. Termite still having 1 charge, and also having 1 of her shields, so there's still lots of utility that still has to be used by the attack to further favor their execution later on.
Indeed, and speaking of favor and execution, how many hatches are open right now?
I don't think too many. I mean, Ibana has 14 pallets. Termite used 1 of his charges, so it cannot be many. Maybe
Yeah.
not even a single, maybe.
We've got some decent angles coming out of the OSA, and I really like the utility usage of the EMPs to deny the yokai drones, and C4 comes out, gets shot, very nice. Second C4 comes out, gets the planter. And this is what I really don't like about the way they're playing this. The yokai that's still under the table is active and ready to be able to do its thing. You've still got potentially a Maestro cam unless Osa dealt with it with the nades. But even then, even still, this Echo drone, this yokai, is just going to be a pest. It's going to be a nuisance. It's got a bomb to hide behind. You can't get to the yokai drone. Player falls behind the bomb chassis trying to take an engagement. It's a 2 versus 2. The Echo drone still stands. The Echo is also still alive. And now, it's down to gunfights.
Yeah,
Osa doesn't see the man crossed. Both players come in at the same time. That's going to be the round over. And that was just a really silly decision made by the attackers. There was not enough utility to deal with the information gained by the defenders. We need a fix for this.
Yeah, like at this point, you would have said that it might have been a wiser choice to just go for the gunfights, try to find the kills, at least one more kill, and then go for the defuse. But in the end, yeah, the choice was not made, and the defenders therefore secure yet another round. This is the fourth defensive round here for CrownZero, so they are doing extremely well on the defense, at least so far,
Attackers
just
need to
as good as
locate and
PBX
defuse
did.
bombs.
But if they get another round, then they not only do better than PBX on the defense, but they would also win this map. However, of course, PBX, they have a perfect opportunity to do, well, basically just as good as PBX did on the offense as well, and bring things to a 4-2 split and bring us to overtime. So I'm very curious to see how this will go. Of course, the basement can no longer be picked. The best bomb site for CrownZero theoretically, although of course his top 4 can be quite strong as well.
Indeed, I love that frost map, by the way. You know the amount of
Yeah.
monkeys that you catch with that. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Monty's banned unless I'm crazy. But
Yeah, it was bad.
it's like, yeah, just shields in general. They love not looking where they're going.
Yeah, of course we cannot see the operator bands right now due to the rehost, but just to clear things up to remind all of us, it was Dokubi, Monty, Mira, and Azami are the band operators.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, some of the best shield players in respective areas of the game, whether it be in ranked or in comp or whatever, some of the better shield players all sort of have that trend of being able to sort of focus on where they're going. That's like actually much bigger of a factor than you think it might be, because I don't know, you just see a lot of shield players that suck, and they suck because their spatial awareness is terrible.
Yeah.
If you pay a lot more attention to where you're going, so it's like, even you can even see that like them using it on the banana area on a comp level means that like they know that it'll probably work.
Yeah.
Like, that's how confident they are. So I think that's something to keep track of and really pay attention to. The fact that some players can just be really stupid.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a nice breach from them. They've managed to get it open, and I mean the Valk decided to commit for the C4 instead of denying it.
Yeah, and that gets found.
Even though denying it was safe. And yeah, it does get found. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a man down. You've got 4 players remaining. That was the 1 player that's off site. I think everyone else is in or around site.
I think so too. Yeah, meanwhile, we just see the Ace being injured and getting finished there by Nicket. That just leaves us then with a 4 versus 4 situation. Still 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining now. So there's definitely some opportunity here still for the attacking side. However, they need to be swift about it. Like the Ace has lost his life. They did open up some of the walls, so they can work with it. But the options aren't too big, really.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't like this attacker lineup. But the reason why I don't like this attacker lineup is very much my own opinion. And that is just the fact that, like, if you're running a blitz, and if you're running, like, the Ash, the IQ, you're already committing to the fact that you've got 2 3 speeds and a blitz. You are going to, at some point or another, find an opening and just sprint at enemy players.
Yeah, the Blitz though, making his way into the bomb site right now, getting ready for the defuse potentially. Only 25 seconds, so it's actually perfect timing to do so. I'm not even sure what the defenders are aware. He perfectly sticks to the diffuser, gets it down, fought with a kill there onto Nick. It secures the man advantage for the team as well. So they now have a post-cleanse situation plus man advantage. Nerf with a kill onto Fleeks, Future with a kill onto Fodder, 2 versus 3, and defenders need to find a way back to their own bomb site, back to the diffuser. Players on the rappel make it extremely difficult to do so. Pizza with a kill there onto Loki, leaving Future all left standing, who then gets found by Rizvez and Nash. This means we're seeing a 4-2 split over 4-2 split, meaning it's a 6-6 score right now. And well, this means that we are now going to overtime. It looks like we are not seeing a role swap happen right here. So this means CrownZero will stay on the defense and PBX will stay on the offense. And well, if you remember correctly, for both of these two teams, the defense was the most favorable bomb site to play on.
Yeah.
However, PBX did lately have some attacking success.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think
Defuse bombs.
the standard sort of expectations can really be applied too harshly here. We're seeing a lot of like flexibility from these teams and a lot of willingness to do things that are a bit unorthodox in order to try and give themselves you know, some kind of an advantage. They are going to be in that open area site, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, are they basement?
I think this is basement jelly. It seems to be quite
Okay.
far down to
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I was looking at. I was like, it seems further down than I thought it would be. So I think they're basement, but they're reinforcing these top floor hatches. The reason why is to slow the players down, because you know the first thing you want to do is clear out the top floor. You realize top floor is clear, you use the hatches to get down quickly. So reinforcing those hatches forces them to either use utility or rotate to a staircase. Pretty good, in theory. In practice, it depends.
Yeah.
You kind of need a player up there if you're going to do that. But the fact that you've reinforced it and your two roamers are both first floor is like, all you're really doing is giving them a bit of extra safety. You haven't even opened the hatch on first floor in order to give them a rotate out. And, well, they have now, but it's still a little worrying considering that no one's actually really playing these things. There goes one of your players that's playing on the middle floor. And as I said, the G8 coming back into the meta. The Amaru is going to be the one bringing it as well. Cade might be the next one to lose his life as he tries to run past and
He's already on the bottom.
doesn't quite know. She gets found out in the end though by Warden and that, or not Warden, sorry. I saw the MPX by the Two-Brow. Well, that's going to be her reign of terror over, but a 4-4 situation. Very nice to pick off that TCSG in favor of a G8. So, or not TCSG, the Vector. I'm really losing my mind.
It's all right, Naj. It's all right. Well, Ollie actually they're having a pretty effective entry here, just doing quite a bit of damage and quite a bit of destruction, and also causing all the defenders to fall back to sites, meaning that every single attacker right now has a proper control to actually contest the bomb site itself, really. Which is well, not too late at all. They still have plenty of time to open up those hatches. They have brought the Warden, the Maverick, and the Hibana to do so. C4 here in the hands of Naked is looking to contest any of those hatches being opened up by the Warden. The Warden is moving off and not doing anything at the moment. Also, meanwhile, Hibana making work of the CCTV's server wall to create a nice entry point from where they could potentially go for a plant anytime soon, as we only have 1 minute remaining.
Indeed. A bit of pressure being applied by the looks of things. I'm not sure if anyone's really hanging around over there, but Echo nearly going to get his head taken off as he peeks in front of the man that's on the windows. Yeah, he's just going to be holding for the flanks on towards square. So now they know this man's going to have a rotate over towards main or main lobby. Not too much impact from the Echo. He's not really able to get himself into a very good position as of right now. But speaking of good positions, there goes ahead as Cade is able to find it. Almost gets a second. The Stature just ducks and dodges around the angles that the Cade has. Cade going to be swinging out into the main site itself. Gets himself caught, but the man on the hatch is able to find him back. And it's going to be all up to the Twitch on these blue stairs.
Yeah, in a 2 versus 1 situation with just 30 seconds remaining, favoring in the in the favor of the Twitch, but of course she needs to be very careful because the two defenders are hunting for her. They know where she is, they find her, they injure her. That's a quad kill for Future as well. And with plenty of time remaining, he has plenty of time to go for the defuse here. Receives a bit of damage here from his teammate, but in the end, this means it's a defensive win here for the side of CrownZero. Once again, back on match point with a 7-6 score.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Just that attack in general had so many opportunities to go so well. Amaru was too tentative. She thought she was spotted when she wasn't. Then you've got the other players just in general. You still had a player outside on the windows, which is, yes, a little questionable, even though you can kind of understand what he's doing. Alongside that, the breach was tiny that they were trying to get the plant down in, so you had no cover from the opposite side. You could have just long-armed it and had a guy play on the server hatch. I just think overall that was not a great play from the attack. Like, it wasn't very well played at all. I kind of expect better, especially from some of the players in this lobby that I do recognize. That was the angle I was talking about, by the way.
Yeah, that's indeed a
love
very
that.
strong angle. Yeah, good luck descending those stairs as long as the player is watching the angle. You're just dead before you even realize what's happening.
Yeah, I expect a lot more from some of these players. Even though I do agree in the previous round, strong attack with Y Rules in the chat. I do agree it was a strong attack, but the attack sucked until Blitz got the plant down. They did pretty much nothing. The only thing they really did was find an opportunity, plant the diffuser, and then the post-plant positioning was what saved the round, and that's what made it really good for them. Everything else in that round was kind of just standard. They were just pressuring each other back and forth until eventually the defenders fell off, and then they took the space. So I think there needs to be a lot more in the way of like being able to clear and play their own utility.
Yeah. Yeah, and for now we are again watching. Of course, we had a roll stop every single round. It's CrownZero now back on the offense, where defense so far has been the most favorable side for both of these two teams to be on. So it would be somewhat expectable or understandable if PBX secures another round and bring us to 7-7 max OT or Boson max OT, as a lot of casters like to call it these days. But for of course, CrownZero is looking to end these things right here and right now, as they are finding themselves on the match point and don't want to give that position to their opponents as well, even though of course they would go to the defense after this. So yeah, there's definitely some room for error here for CrownZero, but as soon as they can end this, the sooner they can go to the next map, which is they are looking for, even though it is PBX's map pick after this.
Yeah,
Which
they're
is
gonna be
Cafe, by the way.
well, Cafe. I we'll talk about Cafe later on. I have a lot to say about Cafe, and I really don't like the way a lot of teams play it currently. But Twitch is just sneaking in.
What the
This
hell?
is such a good position from Twitch. Twitch has played this really well because Smoke has no idea,
No, they
and he's
completely
been
missed her.
watching the main stairs.
Oh,
She's managed to get herself back. She's found 2 kills. She's pushing up on the
Free.
smoke. There's a third. UK goes crazy.
That's insane by the Twitch. Beautiful sneak into the bomb site there. However, PBX responding, however, with 2 quick kills as well. But it's still CrownZero here in the man advantage with a 3 versus 2. PBX completely disturbed, completely distracted by what just happened. Something that shouldn't be allowed, but still happened. Jeremiah meanwhile opening up the CCTV while creating a nice entry point into the bomb site from where he could go for the plant. But of course, Pizza here onto it. That Echo is gonna be one big obstacle here still for the attacking side. Even though they do have the man advantage, it is gonna be problematic. The EMP charge, however, might actually help out here. They might be providing a huge save. C4 being thrown, but perfectly being denied. Kill from each side happening. Leaves us with a 2 versus 1 KE. The only one left standing, but gets found there by Loki and secures the round for the team, and therefore closes the map with an 8-6 score in the favor of CrownZero, which will now then take us to the next map.
That,
Beautiful
my friend,
round.
that, my friend, was a good attack. They not only found an opportunity, they played the utility they had in order to clear out the players they needed to, get themselves in and onto the site. UK got himself a lurk down the main stairs, got past the guy in garage, and without even killing the guy in garage, killed 3 other people on site. That is insane. The only people remaining were the Cade that was in gold, alongside the person that I think was Goyo. Oh no, it wasn't Goyo, because Goyo died in red. Who was over there then in garage? I don't remember. But either way, the only remaining person other than that Cade was the guy in garage. That left a huge empty void inside of the site to just be taken by the attackers. And well, it led to the round win. Not only the round win, the map win, and it moves us on to Cafe with a map advantage in their favor.
Yeah, it was a beautiful first match here, really going back and forth, really like the fortress split, and then just CrownZero really taking it really to their side after or in the overtime. And well, as this is a BO3 match night, of course, we have at least one more map to be played, depending, of course, how things go. If suddenly PBX starts fighting back on their own map pick of Cafe, which is definitely possible as they picked that map for a reason, and we might even go for a third map, and we might make it a very late match for today. But before we do so, we are going to go to a little break here and prepare this second map for you guys. So don't go too far. Hopefully the break is not too long, but we'll keep you updated in the chat about that. See you in a moment. And this is not the correct map video. I don't know why we're... Oh, I see. There we go. it's just hidden behind the other video. There we go, Nash. Now we can see the proper
Wow,
map, which
wow,
is gonna be
wow.
Cafe Dostoevsky. Which is a
You've
map-
been debated. We're not playing the same map twice.
Imagine if that's actually a thing.
That'd be terrifying.
For a BO3, each map has a unique map ban.
Oh,
Which just works like BO1s. Yeah, that would be crazy. But
I'm not
luckily,
a
that's
fan.
not how things work. Luckily, we are getting unique maps in BO3s. And, well, this is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky. And as the operator bands are rolling in, Nash, why don't you walk us over it?
Well, Brava. A pretty big contender on a map like this, to be honest. Also pretty big of a contender on maps like Chalet, things like that. You know, one of those operators that does rely heavily on utility, something that was a little bit lacking in the previous map, but something that we can expect that they're going to try and improve on. Because I think that was something that was noticed by the players. We saw in the final round where they played a lot of the utility as a bait and they had the Twitch going on the lurk. Azami going out pretty much to be expected. I'm not even going to talk about Monty. We all know why.
Yeah.
Azami, she's great for just playing piano and playing inside a kitchen. Like there are some illegal spots in, I don't know about ESA rules, but definitely in blast rules.
No, it's the same area.
Like forced vault prompts and stuff like that Azami can create, but that's not the reason she's banned here. Instead, the reason she's banned is because she's just overpowered. That's just is what it is. Mirror goes off the board again. Mirror's just like, no matter how many nerfs she receives, she just remains pretty consistent. And I think she's fine right now. I think she's in a position where, yes, she's probably going to be banned still quite a bit. But she's in a relatively consistent position. She's not overpowered. She doesn't feel too oppressive. But if you don't play right, when it comes down to how you position yourself, use your utility throughout the round, she can be a big problem. So that is something I do really like about the way Mirror is right now. And I think that is most likely the reason she gets banned. This rotate, by the way, is dreadful. The rotate that Aruni's making is bad. And the reason why is because it's on the right side of that wall. On the right side of that wall, if you get on the skylight and you hold the angle down on the tight angle, you can see directly through it into the Maestro spot. If you put it on the left, you cannot do that.
Yeah, like, but I would say like both of the rotates have have their things. Like, you mean this rotate, right? Where the Jaeger
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. I'm on about cocktail rotate.
Okay.
I also disagree with putting a rotate there in general. If you're going to put a rotate there, always put it on the left. Always put it close to the corner, close to the heaven balcony. The reason why is because you can't see through it on the skylight. However, I disagree with putting a rotate there in the first place. If you want to be able to rotate, just break the banisters and run across the corner. Because then you're definitely not going to be seen.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. But then, of course, you are in danger of anyone being in pillars or that area, which is also.
But that's what this player in Shiko's for. This is what Nicket's for.
Yeah.
Nicket's in Shiko in order to be able to play around audio and also any physical engagement he gets into with a player that does try and contest below.
Also interesting to actually see a Clash being picked, an operator who could actually be extremely strong here on a map like this, or positions like these, especially here with UK just right behind him, just in a very strong position. The Clash just waiting for information to relay back to that player, where the player can then benefit from. This is just going to make things very difficult here for the side of PBX to take control over this area. However, Nicket meanwhile getting the first kill there onto Wristras. That's the Nomads losing a life. Like don't. And well, here the player barely escaping. I mean, both players barely escaping. The Mute was ready to get the kill, but also got damaged himself. But luckily, they did pick the dog, who was able to heal him back up. But it doesn't matter in the end, because he just got finished by Ollie.
So much for the heal. We've got a little bit of stalling going on. He gets caught behind the shield. Ollie gets a beautiful little shot there, and well, but was that both his nades? No,
I think so.
One nade, one flashbang. He gets the nade off in order to get rid of those ADSs. Clash knows he's close because of all the shuffling around. And I do respect the Clash pick on the defensive side. You need to have a lot of faith in the people around you. And understandably, these guys do. Speaking of why the faith is there, Future takes a swing, finds the Ash, and now we're going to be in a position where it's another 2 versus 3. It was 3 versus 3. It was even, but now this 2 versus 3 situation. DMR in hand alongside the Clash.
Yeah, with just 2 versus 3, there's only 35 seconds remaining. Once again, another round that's going to end very closely. Flashbang comes at the perfect timing, which allows the player to hop in safely, but I think he can flash himself as well. Ollie with a kill there onto Loki gets a third, and Pizza with a kill there onto Flick secures the round here in the favor of the defensive side, sorry, that is. And that's PBX securing their very first round here for this match, putting the score on 0-1 and starting with a nice little advantage that they could use as they lost the previous map.
How did he not destroy that cam, by the way? That was
Sure.
some crazy recoil control. Right after the round ended, he just like put an entire magazine from the Bearing 9 into the side of a bulletproof cam, and it just didn't destroy.
I have no clue.
That's unfortunate. Either way, moving down to this kitchen site, we've actually seen a lot of really unique ways to play this site, and I think we'd be hard pressed to not see at least something, at least a little gimmicky. And there it is. It's a vaulting rotate inside of the freezer. Because you tend to see a lot of these things that are like a bit weird and indifferent on sites like this that don't really have like a standard meta. Like when I say meta on the basement site, nobody thinks of an immediate comp that is just known as the meta comp. Everyone thinks of the SSG setup where you run a castle, you put the castles in the right places, you play mute, you play inside of the bakery on the mute, you maybe play a warden that plays on site, and then you have a player upstairs and train. That is the default SSG way to play. That has become the meta, but it isn't really a meta setup. It's just a setup that people have taken directly from a team.
Yeah, and with the side here of PBX now, well, I mean, they're on the offensive board. They just won the very first round. They got a first taste of victory, and they are looking for more. They need more as they're down one map point here, as they lost the previous map. So PBX definitely looking for more success here. We're now going to the defense. So CrownZero not deciding to go for the similar or for the same bomb site once again. Going for something else, which is completely fine. They can always go back to the top floor whenever they like to. For now, they're just going to attempt something different. The side of PBX mostly just droning, gathering information, and potentially going for a bit more of a top to bottom. I'm not sure where the attackers are mostly heading at this moment, as I'm mostly seeing the defenders at this point. There's definitely some attackers looking from some of the windows, but it seems like most of them are indeed headed upstairs to make an entry from there, put pressure from above, and just work their way down to the bomb site.
Indeed, and I think a really interesting thing to consider is just the fact that nobody is really playing on a room on the defense by the looks of things. I think it is pretty much, yeah, it is just entirely like a very hard first floor bunker. There's a lot of presence from the attackers in the first and second floors, but realistically, I don't see much going on from them when it comes down to actually pressuring out these power positions like Bakery or VIP.
Yeah, with the last minute approaching soon, attackers have gotten control over the top floor. We can hear the Buck using his underbarrel shotgun, the skeleton key, to create lots of verticality, which makes it very difficult to play on site. However, with a limited time, he will not have that much time to really benefit from it. He needs to be quick, he needs to move fast if he wants to do anything with it, but soon he will need to head downstairs to join with the rest of his team to actually start putting pressure on the bomb site itself. IQ quickly spotting out that frost trap, which was placed nestily behind that window, so that was a quick spot which could have ended very badly if she didn't. And here Fod is getting ready to make an entry, doesn't exactly know the player is right behind the counter, which does get the kill, but Pizza with a quick refrag finds UK, brings us to 4 versus 3 with the last 30 seconds now standing. Pizza pushing even further here now into prep, which you can use to get further into the bomb site eventually, but the other two attackers are also rotating. We can see here a lot of gunfire happening in the background. They're just getting very close to this bomb site, and with the 4 versus 3, this round is going to end very bloody. Peter with a kill there onto Fleet, equalizes the main count. Fods of Pizza, going for the defuse here, an attempt for the defuse, because he Future being injured and being finished there by wrist rest, and as the diffuser goes down successfully, the defenders now find themselves in a very tricky situation. A 2 versus 3, which now turns into a 2 versus 2, where now Loki is in a strong position. He can long arm the defuse, but wrist rest still playing upstairs. He gets the kill, shuts down the defuse. These Nickets all left standing in the 1v2. 27 seconds to make his way to the diffuser, but 2 attackers still standing in his way, with one of them being on the verticality, which makes it near impossible for him to go for defuse. He tries to bait it, But with 15 seconds, he needs to find the player right now or not. And SP then finds a final kill. The round goes to the attackers who play this very, very smart and safe at the end. And well, therefore secured their second round in a row now. PBX on an 0-2 score.
There's a lot of baiting going on.
Yeah.
Especially on the attacks. We're seeing a lot of these players just playing very, very hard around this sort of survivability, trying to play safety picks and wasting 2 minutes of the round while the rest of your team kind of takes presence in areas that are completely uncontested. So we're just kind of seeing nothing happen for 2 minutes and then everything happen in 45 to 60 seconds, which is a bit of a shame, really, because that's just not what anyone wants to see. But it's what seems to be working for this attacking side so far, and I think that if they keep it up, they could definitely come out of this with a pretty strong performance.
Yeah, for now we're just going back to the top floor. The ones attempted once before by CrownZero. They weren't successful, but at least they got a taste of what PBX has in store for them on the offense. So with the right kind of counter, with the right kind of adjustments, they might be more successful. I mean, the round did get pretty close last time, right, Ash? Like the time was getting very low. There was a lot of the mine count was still pretty high. The time was running low, but it was mostly just PBX being successful on the offense and securing those kills to in the end win the round. So if the members of CrownZero are managing to stay alive a little bit longer, don't take unnecessary risks. They do have a pretty good opportunity here to do better compared to the previous rounds.
Indeed, and well, with the way things are looking so far, it looks relatively the same, but the little Shaiko peek from behind the shield, we've seen that before from, well, Shaiko himself, as he manages to find the head of the striker, rappelling outside the window. That's going to be a pretty big pick. A lot of secondary utility that they bring along that's now completely wasted. But the Kali mixed with a very, very easy to control weapon means that the clash is very quickly dealt with. So wonderful little plan from them to be able to deal with that. That's a nice little shot from Rizraz, and I think this is definitely going to be an attacker-sided map.
Yeah, it's definitely starting very favorable here for PBX. A 3 versus 4 situation with more than half of the round still remaining. So they have loads of time to do even more damage. And with 2 annoying operators already out of the way, it's gonna be pretty easy for them, really. The clash with the kill their own future, who just walks straight into crosshair. As a player, like an area where as a defender you do not want to be. You know the Kali is there. Don't go into her line of sight because you just know that she is gonna hit the shot and she's gonna do loads of damage. And the Jaegers just learn the hard way, but they don't seem to learn. UK does the same thing and falls to the same player. It's player after player, and now it's all coming down to Nickets in a 1 versus 4, I believe it was. And well, this is yet again won by the side of PBX, who now has secured 3 offensive rounds in a row. And once again, we're seeing a tactical timeout come out. And I'm pretty sure this is like a repeat of how Bank started, right, Nash? Like 3 rounds for PBX, tactical timeout, and then
this is not a
CrownZero fighting
tactical
back.
timeout. This is a rage timeout. They've timed out, and the first guy's gone. We need to time out, and he's now screaming that he called the Kali, and 2 more people have walked into the line of sight. This is just not ideal. Give up on piano. Stop being stupid, and move on, because we're just seeing so many times where these defenders are just messing themselves up. It's not even like the attacker doing anything to hinder them. They're just holding angles. They're taking some small amount of position. They're opening up the piano wall. They're playing the windows, that sort of thing. They're doing very, very minimal amounts of playing the game. They're doing as little as possible to achieve as much as possible. That's what I'm saying. It's literally the definition of giving them an inch and them taking a mile. Because you're giving them everything else.
Yeah. Well, and with CrownZero now being unsuccessful on the defense 3 rounds in a row, and after a tactical timeout, they have decided to go for a completely different bomb site, one that we haven't seen from them so far during this map. And this is the the middle floor bomb site, second floor or first floor, depending on where you're from. And this is going to provide new opportunities. The bomb site plays out very differently. It's one of those bomb sites where I always like to say the top floor is crucial, both for the defense and the offense, as the defenders can use it to defend their own bomb site from above, and where the attackers can make it almost impossible to play on the bomb site for the defenders once they have gained the top floor control. So defending top floor is crucial for the defenders, and getting control over it is crucial for the attackers.
I'm genuinely disappointed that they didn't bring a cap gun here and do like the funny little TikTok strat of putting the cap cans on the bathroom door.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, with the amount of other stuff that's going on in this game, I wouldn't exactly be surprised. They're opening up some windows and some doors to get themselves into a bit more of a better position to hold more angles for the rest of the next 2 minutes. But yeah, there's just a lot of nothing that happens for the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. We're seeing them take like general presence, like things like here where they're like spotting out this vault cam that's kind of positioned on the top floor that's completely meaningless because it views no vertical pressure whatsoever, and just kind of hovering around in positions like these weird little off angles and praying that they catch out these players. And so far it's working, which is the thing that's completely unfathomable to me, because if the defenders just didn't peek, they'd probably win.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the defenders need at this moment, because of course they are 0-3 down right now. So CrownZero is definitely looking to find some success here. So far, these things are starting well. They haven't got a single bit of damage, or actually they have a bit of damage, but at least they are all still alive. Although it almost seems like the defenders have almost completely abandoned the top floor. I think there's still one player upstairs. I think that was UK, who has just lost his life, however. So I think attackers have now gained full top floor control, got their opening kill as well, and with this verticality now in place, they almost got a kill through it as well. But at least the defenders are now managing to stay safe a little bit longer. And Flakes with the kill, getting a kill onto Rizraz, at least equalizes the 9 counts.
He finds one inside a pillar, but Ollie cleans him up. It's just a trade game. And realistically, these attackers are playing it so much better. We're taking swings as defenders when we just really don't need to. We have utility in pocket to be able to help and deal with any of these situations. I'm pretty sure Valkyrie sacrificed a C4 by dying there.
No.
And now we're in this 1v3 situation where Mute's left to try and clutch up against all of these players. Finds the first, isn't able to find the second, doesn't expect the re-swing behind the sofa and library. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy that we're seeing a lot of these mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I think if we just kind of slow down as defenders, they're already playing slow on the attackers is. If they're playing slow and they waste 1:30 before actually starting to do anything while you're playing a bunker setup,
Mm-hmm.
then you should have a free win.
Yeah.
You play positions that are safe,
Attackers need to locate and defuse
and then you throw utility at wherever they try and stand.
That's indeed what you would expect, yeah.
And we're not seeing any of that. We're seeing players go, swing. And I hate this.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm even pulling up the stats here for ESA Cup Season 9 for this specific map, and that's actually 55% defensive favoredness. So, yeah, even that makes it even more weird here that CrownZero is not finding any success so far whatsoever. Like, it should actually be PBX who should be struggling here. I mean, it's their map pick, so CrownZero they even picked to start on the defense here. It's the favorable side to play on, but they're just not finding success. And even if they turn this down in 2 versus 4 splits, and PBX has done very well on their first attacking side, where they should have been in a unfavorable position. So PBX has already done extremely well, and once they go to defense, they should do even better statistically, theoretically. But for now, it would definitely be a good moment for CrownZero to get at least 2 rounds on the board.
I mean, I wouldn't be too shocked if we end up 6-0 and they give up, because I mean, we've seen teams a lot higher than like
Oh yeah.
some others, kind of be in this position and just kind
Yeah.
of give
Yeah,
up, not
I,
really
I,
want to do it anymore.
I do
It's
think if CrownZero loses another round, then it's just better to start preparing for the decider map. Really.
yeah, there's a lot of like mental game that comes into a game like Siege, and it's just not fun to play when you're losing. That's
Yeah.
probably quite an obvious statement, but just being completely honest, if you're losing and you can see a glimmer of hope, a possibility that you can pull it back, then you're still going to be fighting tooth and nail. But the moment you get to this sort of position where you're like 4-0, you know that now is do or die. Because if you go 5-1, you're probably going to lose. If you go 6-0, you're pretty confident you're going to lose.
Yeah, and then even for the next map, because of course the next map is going to be Skyscraper, heavily defensive favorable. If PBX wins this match with well anything better than an 8-7 score, then they are going to have the chance to pick the starting side, which they are definitely going to pick the defense, of course, as it's so favorable on a map like Skyscraper. So yeah, PBX is actually very much on track to potentially even win this match before this map has even been finished. Really, I'm calling it right now. Like they're on a very good track to do so. Of course, things can still happen. Things don't always go via the statistics like as you would expect them to go. But PBX is on a very good track so far. And well, with this round again being extremely slow, well, we would expect to see some victory here for CrownZero, as this should favor them, like we have said before. And
That was
potentially getting the
close.
opening. Yeah, if you at least got an opening kill, I think would have finally starting well for the side of CrownZero. But that's just things are taking so long. We're just gonna see a bloodbath match.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't see what just happened.
Well,
I didn't see Ram flash herself twice. In comes the kills. Looks like
Oh,
Pizza's going to find
no.
himself one in the middle of the site. It's a 2 versus 4 now. Now a 2 versus 3 as the man that was injured gets confirmed. It's 2 shotguns and the SMGs that are left remaining. A bit of a whiff coming out of Pete as
no.
Rizraz finds the other player. And that is going to be the round going in favor of the attack once again.
Yeah, CrownZero is just failing. They're just failing. They're falling apart. And losing 5 defensive rounds on a map that should be defensive favorite is just very, very odd. And it just really shows that something is not going well for CrownZero. And like I just said, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. If PBX wins this map with anything better than an 8-7, then they have the side pick for the next map, which is Sky, and they're gonna pick the defense, and they're gonna,
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
yeah, I don't know, like CrownZero is not on a good track at the moment.
You're finding my issue. It's hard to find things to say when they arrived early for the train and got hit by it. What's going on?
Cover the location of a bomb.
Yeah,
You were supposed to get on the train, not in front of it. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy that we're seeing this because
that's
it's
a
like
funny saying.
we're seeing the defensive side on a defender-sided map statistically get slammed, or is it attacker-sided in ESA? I don't remember.
It is,
I
no,
looked
no.
at the stats a minute ago.
I just said it. It's 55 defensive favorite and
like,
44
what's
or 45
going on?
attack. And the next map is even gonna even be worse. Like next map is a Skyscraper that's 58% defense and 42% attack.
I don't know what to say anymore. I'm all over analytics and numbers. I'm an analyst. The fact that nothing's going the way it should means that I don't know. I feel like someone's like got my head in a toilet and just flushing it as many times as they can. My entire head's just spinning. Does not compute.
Yeah. Yeah, things are very, very weird and not as we would expect them to go. PBX, of course, looking to yet and again win another offensive map, offensive round. They have been doing extremely well on the offensive far. I don't know whether it's PBX that is just doing incredibly well or CrownZero just incredibly failing. It might be the second or a bit of both. But yeah, well, this could end up in a 1-5 score, which is very good for CrownZero, for Project Black X, or it could even end in 0-6, which is well insane for the side of PBX. Either way, PBX is gonna have a very good score into the roll swap. The question just is what it is going to be. Is it flawless, or will at least CrownZero add 1 round to well save them a little bit of humiliation?
Such a questionable Goyo canister there, but it worked out for him in the end,
Yeah.
as he did manage to get it off, and it did deny the player that he wanted to deny. 2 kills been found by the defense, so now or never, as we find a third, a double for Fleeks if you want to
Oh.
wake up.
Oh.
Well, now's your best chance to do it. In comes UK again, finds himself a double, so 2 players doing all the work as, well, Pete nearly tries to give UK the next one as he's just going to get off that rappel and hover around on the generator below. UK going to be trying to take this peak. He knows, and they're both aware of the other as, well, eventually he does fail. Stood out on this vent's balcony, not any contention to be seen as of yet. Pulse, or not Pulse, Castle, sorry, at the top of the red stairs. Goyo looks like he wants to try and take a swing, but the Castle comes along with him, manages to deal some damage, but the UMP-45 pea shooter itself isn't quite able to secure that kill. No claymores outside these windows. There could be an opportunity here for them to go for a jump out. The Vector isn't quite able to find it either. He's trying to take this one onto the castle on the red stairs. Doesn't quite see him. No one's able to land the shots. As now the 16 HP IQ just going to be trying to find a peek onto any of these windows. Nearly finds Valkyrie through the wall with a really weird looking pre-fire. But the guy who jumps out the window on the top floor is going to be the Fenrir, finding the final frag of the round.
And with this, at least, maybe quite a bit too late, but at least they did get one round on the board there. Of course, CrownZero is the one I'm talking about. One round on the board on their favorable defensive half, and yeah, just one round. It's better than none. It's better than zero. Um, but is it gonna help them on the roll swap? Like it's entirely possible if PBX does so insanely well on the offense. Well, of course, there's a very good chance that in CrownZero could do the same, but from the way they have been playing so far, I'm not expecting too much from them really. It needs a bit of a miracle. It needs a bit of a quite a bit of a change. Technical time it could have been good, but they have used it already. So yeah, it's CrownZero in a very difficult position now.
Look at Pizza. He's hiding in a corner so they don't spot him.
Oh
That's
no.
so funny. I like this. I like this. I'm actually a big fan of the way they tried that. I don't think he's been spotted. I'll be completely honest. But yeah, it's pretty infuriating. My entire purview of the way the game is played has just been thrown out the window based on this one map alone. My entire philosophy of the way I think the game should go is flipped on its head.
Yeah. 1-5 score, of course. It's CrownZero now on the offense. I'm very curious to see how things will go. However, with Nicket getting an opening kill already onto the Wamai, that's a good start here for the side of CrownZero. That's the Wamai, of course, dealt with. Which well, it's definitely gonna help them, especially on taking Bakery if that's what their plan is. Also, those Goyo cannons already being popped. That's even better. But of course, the Clash standing here. Well, that is gonna make things a little bit problematic, Clash.
Yeah, they remained unaware of the clash in the prep phase, so they have brought along the Blitz, something a lot of people don't realise as well. Shields are countered by clash, that is the entire point. So, with him trying to come in, he's going to get the, I don't remember what the name of the different punches are called, but he's going to get lightly tapped on the shield every time he tries to, approach the clash and gets electrified. Which is going to disrupt him a lot. It means there's going to be a lot of visibility on his lower body. There's going to be a lot of visibility on his legs. If he tries to crouch, there's still going to be visibility on his legs. It makes it very, very difficult to play Blitz in this position.
Yeah, indeed. And well, with the half of the round remaining, we're now finding ourselves in a 3-3 man count where things are pretty even. A bit of damage here and there. UK with a kill there onto vods, so that's again good here for the attacking side. The Clash completely surrounded and gets found here by Nick. Beautifully done here from the attacking side, where Pete is now the only left standing defender. His position should be known as he is, landed a few shots in the direction of some of those players. And then it's Logi finding the final kill. And at least ending up adding yet another round here onto the side of CrownZero. The second in a row, the first on the offense, putting CrownZero on a 2-5 score. And suddenly, Nash, the score doesn't sound too bad anymore. A 2-5 is, well, of course, PBX is still 3 rounds ahead of CrownZero. but 3 rounds can easily become 2 rounds. And, well, CrownZero might still have a chance, though.
I like the optimism.
Yeah.
I disagree. For the simple reason, it's the first round of the second half. Yes, they lost. Realistically, you lose the first round of the second half, you're not worried. You just kind of move on, forget it happened, pretend this is the first one. But like the thing that really worries me is the fact that we're in the second round of the defensive half, and it's 5-2 to the defenders.
Yeah.
It's like the pressure is on the attackers. The pressure's on CrownZero, and it's their own fault they're in this position because they were unable to deal with any of the attacks that came towards them. And
Yeah, right.
that's what's annoying. Like we're left in this position now where CrownZero have screwed themselves because they were unable to, you know, react or adapt to the things that were being brought along by the attacking side in the round.
Yeah. Yeah, for now, it's yet again, of course, here the second offensive round for CrownZero. They have shown that they can be successful on the offense in the previous rounds, but maybe also PBX just taking a little bit too much risk, really. I think we're feeling pretty confident, but now we might see the first real offensive round. It's a top floor, it's a very different bomb side as well, of course, and with all the attack as well. Really focusing on getting the top floor control, which makes total sense. The rooftop is very important, it's a crucial point of entry. And from here, well, they will start making an entry into the building and start putting pressure from the windows and the rooftop. Ashley is the first one to head into the building already pretty quickly, if you ask me. From this, you might already be able to find any defenders off guard really early on.
I thought IQ was going to shoot Thatcher in the knees. Just did not process that outcome whatsoever. But they managed to find all 3. Obviously, Brava's banned, but the fact that IQ's not is pretty crazy. Ollie finds 1 onto UK, and well, with one of your attackers going down very early, it might be the Ash, but realistically, it's not good.
No.
You're now left in this position where, well, they've scrapped all of your vault cams. They've managed to get the wall open on bathroom. A couple of the Goyo canisters are popped, and they're already starting to get position on Cigar and the bar area for a first floor push. There's still 1:20 seconds left. Realistically, they need this pillar control or white control, depending on the plant that they are actually going to go for. C4 goes out, isn't able to find its mark, and it's not terrible for the attacking side. It's just not good for them. They've dealt with a lot of utility, traded 1 kill for it. There goes another one, and that's your ace. So you're now not going to be able to go for the plant down the white stairs. You have to go for this pillow door. This pillar door is going to be the only real good place to plant. But it looks like IQ wants to take the drop on the hatch.
Yeah, and well, there will be good timing to do so, of course, because there's only 40 seconds remaining, so attackers need to start making that move pretty soon. Verticality is going to allow them to... Sorry?
Why is Goyo in coats?
No clue. Maybe to come from pillar? Like, if the attackers go to pillar to go for flank from there, maybe that might be why. But with 20 seconds remaining, there's just 2 attackers standing. Make that 1 as Oli finds Loki, so it's all coming down to Nickets, whose position should be known. And with a 1 versus 5, things are not looking too good for him, as he now gets fined at pizza. And with a flawless rounds, BBX secures their first defensive win here, and also secures the map point for this map, as they now find themselves on a 2-6 score.
Yeah, this is something. I'll tell you that much. This is definitely a game of all time. I'm so confused. My numbers don't add up.
Yeah.
1 + 1 is not 4.
No, that's definitely not the case, Nash.
I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this game.
Yeah.
I can't analyze this game because I analyze things that have happened. This doesn't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
It really shouldn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a bit of an off map, which might come to an end pretty quickly. Maybe that's a bit of positivity for you, as of course PBX is on the map point. this match of this map might come to an end, which then would bring us to the third map of this evening, the decider map of Skyscraper. But before, of course, that happens, this round at least one round needs to be won by PPX. They're getting 4 rounds to do so, so they have a pretty good chance to do so. They can even afford some mistakes. They can afford some errors. So they're feeling, of course, they're finding themselves in a pretty comfortable position. The CrownZero, of course, their mission is clear. They need to win 4 rounds in a row without losing a single to still have a chance to win the second map and end the match with a 2-0 in overtime.
If CrownZero somehow win this map, I'll do a 10-minute apology video on YouTube to their organization.
I would love to see that. Not gonna lie.
It's just not gonna happen. Like, it's so mental how badly they've played this map. Like, I'm gonna say it how it is. This was fumbled. Like, heavily fumbled. They had such a good start to pretty much most of the defensive rounds. They screwed it completely and managed to lose, what, 5 of them?
Yeah.
They managed to win their first attacking round, which was fine. But realistically, once you reach that 5-1 on your defensive half, it just, you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not going well for this map, for the side of CrownZero. Things are being pretty weird. But CrownZero is already making a nice and quick entry in the map, however, so that's at least a positive thing to, to talk about here. They're making a nice entry, which could allow them to get some nice opening kills, some early kills, and especially the mining being played. That's a mob side we don't see that often, actually, in Nash. So that's another very interesting thing. I'm just very curious to see in what extent PBX is prepared to defend this bomb site in a good way. I want to say CrownZero is ready to attack it, but with Vods getting their first kill onto Futures, the Twitch being dealt with, but then Yuki with the refract onto Vods eliminates the annoying Legion and some of his utility.
Yep, Ollie finds another one across the way through Freezer. They're going to be playing on a very similar side to the last time, if you haven't already noticed. Speaking to the viewers. There is quite a lot of IQ walking in circles looking for gadgetry. She sees one through the floor, tries to take the shots, but is shooting a little too far forward. Buck's making a bunch of these rotates, which is something I said that he should have been doing in the first map, making these rotates in order to allow for easier rotations across the top floor. Is going to allow your team so much more freedom. He sees someone through the vertical holes, doesn't want to re-peek it just in case they've seen him, and is now just going to be opening even more to try and contest on towards that reinforcement. But can't quite find what he's looking for. The Valk gets away, not scot-free, but well enough. Oh, it's not even Valk. I'm just schizo. I think it was Solace. I was just looking at people through the wall.
Yeah. Well, with just 18 seconds remaining, which actually a very, very little amount of time, this round has to end very soon. Nick gets the first kill there onto P. That's at least the round of the main count equalized. Risk with the kill there on Fleeks. Ollie with the kill on Loki leaves Nick all left standing in this 1-versus-3 situation. And then Risk starts to close things out. Ends this map in the favor of PBX. And Nash, this means both teams win their own map pick.
You know what else it means?
Well, it means we are going to the third map, Nash.
It also means I don't have to make a 10-minute apology video.
You don't have to make a 10-minute apology video.
That's always good. You know, you don't need me yapping anymore.
We don't need you yapping for now, at least, because we haven't. I need you yapping in the next map.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say about that map. I'm gonna do my best to forget it ever happened. As I said, not because either team's bad, but because that map was not played the way it should be.
No.
And I don't want to try and wrap my head around why.
No, indeed. Maybe it's best to put this map behind us as quickly as possible so we can just focus on the next map, which is going to be Skyscraper. Like I said before, in ESA, the best round difference of the team with the best round difference decides which side to start on. So as it's going to be Skyscraper, and as PBX has the better round difference, it means that they will be starting or will be deciding which side to start on. Well, I can already guess it. It's going to be defense. Yes, it's indeed going to be defense. And then if it goes to overtime, defense for CrownZero. So we're going to prepare this final map here for today for you guys. This shouldn't be too long. Hopefully not much more than 3 to 5 minutes. But then we'll be back with the final map of today. See you in a minute. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This time with the correct map video from the beginning. We're here for the final map of today, the decider for the match between CrownZero and Project Black Axe. Skyscraper is where they're taking us to. My name is still Max, and I'm still here with Nash for this beautiful matchup between these two teams. Or beautiful, maybe interesting is the right word, actually. But yeah, this interesting matchup between these two teams. And well, Nash, before we head into this final map of today, the decider between these two teams, we have the operator bands.
I mean, yeah. When it comes down to Sky, something I say very, very frequently. I agree with Pangu with this statement. Monty is not fun to play
No.
against. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw a Blitz ban. Like a Monty Blitz combo ban. There it is.
Oh!
You know what I mean? Like it's
You got
so unbelievably oppressive to play shields on Skyscraper with so many single doorways, so many tight corridors. It's so difficult to play against a shield that it is just worth getting rid of them. Clash
Yeah.
a bit less oppressive because she has a more limited area of effect. Because you know she's not going to be moving nearly as much. Echo getting banned, completely fine. Information gain, and that realistically is probably what they're trying to get rid of, considering information was a big issue for them in the previous map. Mirror goes out, but Mirror's gone out, I think, every single map. So I don't think either team was planning on it. I don't think either team was planning on playing Mirror, so we're just kind of banning that for strats at this point, which we're not really playing very well.
Yeah,
in the least rude way possible.
Yeah, we've indeed seen it for both of for all three of the maps so far today. So no mirror, and same goes for Monty. And of course, the Blitz and the Echo are a bit more of a newer operator bands here, specifically coming here for this map. Well, we also already spoke about it before. The side picks, of course, being a crucial thing for one of the most one-sided maps that I think we have in this competition. Let me just take a quick look here and verify whether that is correct. Well, it seems like
Yeah, the vent spawn still doesn't have a name. Yeah, they're spawning in the void.
Nice. But what I was about to say, yeah, it's indeed the most one-sided map that we actually sorry, Chalet is actually the one-sided map, but that's actually in the favor of the attack, however. No, this is the one-sided defensive map that we have in our competition, with a 58.3% here for the defense versus a 41.7 for the offense. So very understandable. The PBX, who had the better round difference, went here for the defense to start with, and well, I think a 4-2 or potentially even a 5-1 split in the favor of PBX is not out of the question here.
I don't know, maybe it just... I don't know.
I mean, we have seen weird things today, of course.
They've
but...
spawned in different places, so I'm not sure what's going on with the spawns at this point. It might just be the UI, like, because they kept making changes and stuff to it before, didn't they? It looks like we are going to be seeing bandit tricking on the house wall. Sorry. I don't know how Nickit died. Which spawn peak was that to?
I have completely missed that one as well, to be fair. But yeah, the kills are just going on. It's now going to be...
what a refrag as well as Army.
Hey, that's Azami being taken care of. Also, the bandit being distracted and stopped from his bandit tricking, which allows the Termite now to go for the breach as well. Yeah, like it's a good start here for the attack.
How many keepers would she have had in pocket? 3? I think 3. So that's like, you've just absolutely annihilated 3 keepers. You've got 4 Flores drones to deal with the other 2, and an Ash charge still remaining. So you're in a pretty good position when it comes down to utility on this attacking side right now. You've got one half of the breach soft by default because they're deciding to play the footholes, even though they're only really supposed to be played if you have a bloody mirror. And yeah, there is still a vigil, so information's still going to be a little lackluster. There is a Brava on side, there is a Flores on side. You do have a lot of this informational utility in order to be able to get as much information as possible. But you can understand why that last Flores drone, or it wasn't the last Flores drone, I'm lying, I'm a schizo. You can understand why he's using these Flores drones to get things open, and now he's using this last one for a bit of information, because they slowly travel faster and faster depending on how long they've been around for. Ash is making a 4 rotation, so them using this time to allow that to happen is fine. Bandit is now aware, but is Ash aware that Bandit's so close? No. Peter finds that kill. 2 versus 3 still.
as Vigil loses his life. One more falls, and it is this 2 versus 1 situation. Bandit very low on health. Very
Yeah.
worried for how he's gonna actually play this.
Yeah, it's a difficult position for him to be in with such little HP. And with 40 seconds remaining, the attacker is now finding himself in the bomb site with a diffuser in hand. In theory, he could go for the plant, of course, but with 2 defenders still going along, this is a dangerous position to actually do so. So it actually would be favorable for him to get some information, find out where the defenders are playing, and potentially take out one of them as well. But he can also use the diffuser, of course, to bait him, to make them come at him, because both of them are playing there towards Dragon, a bit further away from the bomb site. He finds one, at least do a bit of damage. He got damage himself as well. Got damage again as he passes the rotation. Gets damage a third time as well as he keeps passing on by that rotation. Finally secures the kill there onto wrist rest. Now decides to go for the defuse. Pizza, however, is very close. Has C4 in the pocket, I believe, as well. And yes, just as the diffuser goes down, he gets C4 kill. Diffuser planted. But of course, plenty of time here for Pizza to dismantle the diffuser and secure the round here. For the defensive side, getting very close and too close for comfort here for the side of PBX, but at least they make their first defensive round count and put the score on 0-1.
Yeah. I think Azami feeding so early is crazy. Like, that shouldn't happen. Especially an operator that's that powerful. I understand maybe a spawn peak every now and again, but after failing that one, if you run an Azami again, which is pretty likely, you shouldn't spawn peak. Because, sure, taking a spawn peak's fine once, you're kind of taking a risk, but doing it twice is, yeah, pretty bad idea. Malusi, great operator to bring along. I really like this in favor of the Azami because she's an operator that people are still debating whether she's part of the Big Five or not. People are debating whether Fenrir is as powerful as he used to be, or Mira's as powerful as she used to be. And, well, another one is Azami. And somehow, after 2 big nerfs to Azami's kit,
Yeah.
she's still at the top.
Yeah, one operator that we're not seeing as often, and I would have expected to see a lot more after the mid-season patch, was actually Mozzie. Since he has now like the additional pass.
Why? He has an additional pest?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, of course, Nash, you've been quite busy with your work, of course, so you might have missed some stuff, but yeah, Mozzie got an additional pass.
I don't see how that benefits Mozzie. Mozzie suck.
Nah, I mean, he's very good at the intel denial, the extra pass that lets him do so even better. And of course, the additional pass also gives him the opportunity to even hack one more drone.
I understand. I understand that it only takes 5 bullets to win a round of Siege, but when your primary weapon has 15 bullets and your secondary weapon is somehow worse, somebody needs to help you.
Right.
The operator, Mozzie's not underpowered because of his gadget. Mozzie's underpowered because of his kit. Like, Mozzie has a C4, which is great. He has a gadget that can play to deny a lot of these operators. I think, realistically, just rebuff the Rooney and take it away from a Rooney.
Yeah.
If you've really got a problem with a Rooney using the Rooney as an aggressor, like, just take it away from a Rooney.
Alright, yeah. Makes sense.
I feel like it's fine. Just rebuff the Rooney, get it back to where it was, give it the 21 bullets that it had before, and shut up. Just play the game.
Yeah, well, Fod finally finds his first kill. The Dokkaebi, the poor Dokkaebi, was stabbed in a frost net earlier and was only on 20 HP because of that, or even lower. Finally gets found and finished there by Fod. So that's again a man advantage here for the defense. The defender right around the corner here for Flix, I believe, right? Or did I just completely miss that? No, I'm just seeing ghosts. There's no one there. My bad. But with a 4 versus 5, the attackers are now getting closer to the bomb side, of course, which is still on the other side of the building. But, well, with them getting closer, they can soon start putting pressure. But that's Pizza finds the kill there onto Yuki, who was being approached from different angles. Logan then finds the kill there onto Ollie, brings us to the 3 versus 4 right now.
He sees an arm, thinks it's a head, nearly finds the shot, but isn't able to do anything with it. 2 players left alive on this attacking side, pushing through the dragon side and finding 2 kills as, well, the head gets taken off one of the others. still 3 players alive on this defensive side. There is going to be 2 players over towards this drum side, and as the peak comes out from the bandit, he unswings, and his teammate behind him is also there, revealed, but it is Bandit who finds the kill. It's looking pretty good for the defense. I can't lie, but then again, Sky just is good for defense, so it's also to be expected. I'm pretty disheartened that we aren't seeing much out of Brava, especially considering we are just. I mean, this round we're not really seeing much, but like
Defenders,
even
protect your bombs from being defused
cameras
by
in
attackers.
general on Skyscraper are really good, like the default cams. So you can get a lot of information with those and cut off a lot of rotations and things like that. And usually they're in positions where people aren't really going to look either. Like I tell you, I don't, like thinking back on it now, I don't think I've ever gone through the double door into house lobby
Attackers
and
located a bomb.
looked to the top right to see if the camera's hacked or not. I don't think I've ever checked that. Like, not even
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. Okay.
10 seconds to
So it's like just the positions of the cameras themselves make it so they're not really in positions where you're going to be looking at them, not unless you know physically that they are hacked.
defuse the bomb.
And usually the only way you know that is if the Kevy's got your cams. Unless you've physically seen a Brava hack it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or heard it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. With 2 defensive rounds now going to side of PBX, of course, they are going to a different bomb site, which is, the barbecue kitchen bomb sites. Some teams go for bedroom, most of them go for kitchen barbecue, which is very understandable. And, well, again, here, top floor, crucial for both the attackers and the defenders. Defenders can use it to defend from above and easily fall back to side through the hatch, for example, which is reinforced at the moment. But also the attackers can use it to put a lot of pressure from above as well.
Well, not Valkyrie. I'm losing my mind again. Azami gonna be a little pressured inside of Geisha. Bees are coming in somewhere to maybe try and isolate or figure out her position as well. More drones are going to be sending their way through. We do see the Maverick alongside the Flores making their way over towards this position in order to destroy these keepers and make it a little harder to hold for this. Azami nearly gets caught out by the M4 of the Maverick, and looks like that Flores run didn't deal with the keeper it was supposed to. Candela goes in on towards top black, and the player runs away. Ash is going to be there for the support, and well, they've now found 2 picks onto these defenders. This is an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to get into position to win this round. But the shotgun going to be positioned on, well, actually no longer positioned. Was going to be positioned on the main stairs, and instead Castle going to be just hovering around inside of the dining area.
Yeah, that's the first mission here accomplished here by the attacking side, but an even bigger and more difficult mission is still ahead, which is getting into the bomb site properly and weakening its defensive structures. The Maverick almost losing his life in doing so, but still making it out with 28 HP remaining. But something else that's not really much remaining of is time at the moment. This is only 40 seconds, but Loki and Flix with 1 kill each leave rest all left standing. All by himself, all alone here in the bomb site in a 5 versus 1. Plant is being attempted. He finds at least 1 person, but instead he gets killed instead. And that's a flawless round here from the side of CrownZero. Something they exactly need at this moment, as of course, well, they're equal on map points, and they were down 2 rounds, but now they're only down 1. So they have now put the score on 1-2.
Yeah, very well played from them, to be honest. Like, generally or genuinely, I believe that was one of the best rounds we've seen all night. Like, from a strategical standpoint, from being able to pick apart the defense on Geisha, for example. Like, you were never going to push that Azami out of that position, especially considering you didn't bring the hard breach you needed, and the hard breach you did have was somewhere else. So you were left in this position where you had to try and combat the Azami with just a Maverick, a Grim, and a Flores. And realistically, you don't want to commit 3 players for 1 position. So the Grim shot his one B canister or one hive launcher thing, and kind of just moved away, let Flores bring himself in alongside the Maverick, blew open all of the keeper barricades that were in the way, made a hole along the reinforcement in order to allow for easy pickings if the Azami tries to run away, and yeah, like they just played pressure, played gunfights. They managed to pick the Azami as she tried to rotate out of the position. They picked someone else much earlier in the round, and yeah, just realistically speaking, I think that was very, very, very well played from the attacking side. I think that's the best round we've seen all night.
And I hope for the side of CrownZero that there's more where that's coming from, because any attacking round that they can get is extremely valuable, because they need those rounds once they go to the defense. As this map is so defensive favor, but that's not a good timing there for UK. Very unfortunate one there, as he just gets caught out. In the repel from the Amaru. So very unfortunate right there. Nothing really he could do at that point, unfortunately. But nice one there for Ollie at least.
You can't not be angry at that too. Like that's infuriating, especially as like a comp player. This Vigil's, speaking of infuriating, this Vigil's position, this is like a meaty Marley pause right here. But the Buck has given up and rotated over towards main stairs. I don't think Vigil's quite aware, but he will be eventually, as he's been left well alone.
Yeah, that's a dangerous operator to leave unattended at this moment, and he might be able to do quite a bit of damage there later on.
Well, there's the damage.
Oh, that's the first bit of damage at least, yeah.
Meaty Marley pause clears out one of your main execute operators. Only really one of those left remaining. The other two are only really there for a gun, and there goes your other one. You've got the Buck and the Brava, who are only really there for, Brava for information, and the Para 308 or whatever it is. And you've got a Buck who's there for soft destruction and gun. So realistically, they're both only really useful for being a gun at this point in the round. There's a minute left, and you're on a 2v5, so do something or don't. Either way, it's probably a defensive win.
Most likely, especially here with Loki having a player right around the corner. That's the Vigil. Will find the kill onto Loki. That's a triple kill for him. The first.
He knows too.
And he gets the quads. Wow, beautifully done here from the Vigil. A beautiful quad kill ended here with this double kill at the end. And once again, for the third time actually in this matchup that we have seen, the technical timeouts coming out from CrownZero was not the worst position.
Oh no, very much not. I still believe 5-1's default half for Sky.
Yeah. Maybe the technical timeout could help them even lift a little bit better, to just do a little bit better and get some more attacking rounds here on the board. A 2-4 would be even better for them. But even the 33 is technically still possible.
There's no way Rednax is counting my breaths.
I saw the message, yeah.
I'm gonna fight this guy. Either way. That I don't know. That timeout seems very orthodox. Like, it doesn't seem like one of those rage timeouts that we saw before. It's definitely like they've lost 3. Half of the first half has already gone to the opposite side. We need a plan. Like, we need to sort things out, figure out what's going wrong, figure out how we can play against it. And it looks like their answer is the Kebi, because everything else looks relatively the same. They've changed out the They've changed out the Maverick for the Thermite instead in order to play a bit more conventional hard breach. The Kebi is going to be swapped out for the Buck, so literally all they've changed is Maverick for Thermite. I'm not exactly enthused about this comp, considering they went into a timeout and, we're looking for an answer to deny the things that are currently going on. They've decided information against information denial is probably not a good idea. But I think the Kebi would have been fine for the information denial she brings. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for now, of course, there's still 2 more rounds remaining before the role swap happens. At least CrownZero got their first attacking round on the board earlier, and they would like to add even more. So they can still turn this into 4 or even a 3-3. But of course, Portugal Black Axe, they want to make sure that they get every single possible defensive round out of here. As the defense is definitely, of the attack is definitely going to be a little bit more tricky. And as Fall gets the first killer onto Naked, things are starting well with the Buck being taken care of. Verticality a lot more difficult, although the Ash is still there, and technically the Force could do so as well. But yeah, well, it's at least a lot first player lost.
Bro's so afraid. They open up the floor a little bit, and he doesn't even try and go for the trick. He's now playing behind the bar without any sort of cover from the reinforced walls that they have. He's been found, and well, Pete finds UK too, and
Okay.
we're just in this very
aggressive.
questionable position.
Yeah, both of them so aggressive. First, a bandit running out for a run out, not paying off. Another player running back in, also getting found. It was a bit of an unnecessary one, if you ask me. But with a 2 versus 4 and 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, the attackers do have some time. They can use this to gather information, or even, well, hack some utility in this case, or destroy some utility, whatever they like. And well, if each of these 2 attackers find 1 kill each, they will turn this into a 2 versus 2 matchup, which will make it a little bit more workable for them. Oh, but as Peter then finds the kill there onto Lockheed, it's all a lot coming down here to Future, who's left standing in a 1 versus 4 situation. Does have quite a bit of time, but as Ristress already finds him, and so did the Frost. He gets found, and it's another defensive round win here for the side of PBX, putting the score on 1.
I'll be completely honest. That round told me, like, just the way they played, things like that, I'll explain in a second. That round told me that CrownZero's mental is just chalked.
Yeah.
Like, they're so done with this game. I think even they think it's over. They're just gonna fight for it. When it came down to that round, and the reason I say that is because they made, as a team, no effort to do anything more utility-wise that required coordination than actually open the breach on the opposite side of the map. They had no positioning towards Geisha, no control over Geisha, and the thing that really took the cake for me is UK. At some point in that round, we saw the Ash re-peek into a man that he did not know the location of. He knew there was several different angles the fire could have come from. He knew that there was several different positions that the fire could have come from. And he knew that there could have been more than one person watching that bloody angle. And instead of, moving away, moving through the breach, getting himself a position inside of the building where he has more freedom of motion, he decides to try and take the re-swing on the corner of the balcony and ego check, or ego peek, should I say, the guy on the long angle, which is a terrible idea. In any situation. Everybody knows that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, the one positive thing that we can point out for CrownZero, however, is that they are now attacking the bomb site that they did manage to win previously. So the one attacking round that they managed to win was on this bomb site. However, with Pete getting the first opening kill there onto the Nuke, played by Future, that's not a good start here for CrownZero. They could really use the man count here. But it's already starting negatively for them. Well, things are going to be tricky. Attackers meanwhile also making their way into the building already. We can see Ash already here inside of Drum. A good position to potentially find any defenders, but as Vods finds Naked as well. As the Maverick already lost as well. Luckily not the only hard breacher they have brought, as the Ying did bring the secondary hard breaching utility, which he can luckily use as well. But the man disadvantage, really, that's what might be hurting even more. 3 versus 5 with still 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining is not a good position here for CrownZero.
Yeah, it's really not good. I do just think their mental's pretty chalked. He manages to find 1, but you trade a teammate in the meantime as the boss G, claims another victim. And, he's going to be positioned on those black stairs. He's waiting, he's ready. He wants you to take the swing. He wants you to try and peek him. And there it is. He found your head. It's 5-1, I think.
Yeah. 1-5, yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to be here anymore. I think CrownZero are kind of
Yeah.
accepting it.
Well,
It doesn't seem like they're changing anything or trying anything different. They're just kind of going for the same thing over and over again. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But now they're on the defensive half. And as I said, I do believe 5-1 is default for Sky. I think this is completely fine for CrownZero. They just
Yeah.
have to get past this mental barrier.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Like they have like a bit of a dip, like a bit of a morale issue right now. Most likely, things are not looking too good for them. But once they will start winning, like maybe the first or maybe even second round here of their defense, now things suddenly will start looking a lot better. Because winning 2 rounds will bring them to the 3-5 score line, which suddenly looks very, very possible. So
in order to achieve that, they actually have to win rounds.
yeah, and well, I think this very first defensive round is going to be the most important round so far. Like, if they lose this one, I don't think it's going to end up good for them, because then we'll find themselves on 1-6, and the match is pretty much as good as lost. But if they actually do manage to win this round, then they show themselves like, hey, we can win these defensive rounds. We can close the gap between the score gap that we have right now, and make it smaller and smaller. And I think if they win at least here this one defensive round, then their morale will go up, and then they have actually a very good chance to still win this match. But therefore, they do need to win this one round.
Well, indeed they do, as by the looks of things, we're about 20 seconds in. No real movement has been made by these attackers as of yet. There is Bravo drones rooting through the building, and, well, with Malusi being on side, with Mute being on side, it leaves quite a lot to be, picked up by these attackers and hacked and kept for themselves. Something I do also want to bring attention to is Frost still has a mat in pocket.
Yeah. Well, with the thermite charge coming up, more and more walls are being opened up, entry points and line of sight therefore being created. And as Fleeks gets the first kill there onto Pod, that's the Grim, the also annoying Grim, being taken care of there from the side of PBX. So finally a man advantage here for the side of CrownZero, exactly what they need in this situation. And hopefully there's more for them where this came from.
We have got Legion over here right now, just getting himself out of there. He's aware of the split theory windows and keeping himself a little safe as he does make his way through on towards the site side of the map. Breach is open, no pressure on it right now, and, well, with the distinct lack of shields available to any of these players, they are just going to make sure that things are thoroughly droned out and kept under supervision until they are ready to utilize it. Flashbang, I think. Oh no, that was a drone. Sorry, I thought that was a flashbang going in through the karaoke window. It looks like they just want to try and get some more information on the actual site itself. Drones going underneath Malusi here, there, and everywhere, unable to find them, and they know she's in Geisha. She is kind of exposing herself a little bit to the drum door, but Future's watching over towards that drum side, so not really too much to worry about. I think realistically, the defenders just hold down their positions here, and so long as they can do that, they shouldn't be too worried.
Yeah, it's really going back and forth as we now find ourselves in a 2 versus 3 with one attacker being injured at the moment. That might actually have been a frost trap. I'm not entirely sure why the player is injured at the moment. But as Future then finds a kill onto Ollie, it's all coming down to Ace, the only attacker who's standing on his feet, repels in, gets found. And at least CrownZero adds another round here to the board. Their first defensive round works in their favor. And the scoreline now gets put on a 2-5, and the gap gets closed by 1. CrownZero finally finding a bit of momentum that could actually start a win streak here on the defense and could continue to close this gap even further. Yes, they're still 3 rounds behind, but getting this first defensive round was crucial, and well, could definitely give them the boost that they need at this moment.
It could definitely boost the morale. That's exactly what you want right now. If you're an emotional team, you're not fully recovered from this, but you're pretty well recovered from the 5-1. The reason I say you're not fully recovered is because a lot of emotional players, which is most players, by the way, it's very, very easy to find emotional players. They will spend a lot of time living in the moment, if you want to put it that way. If you go into another round straight after a win, they're not going to be thinking about the fact that they can lose. They're instead going to be thinking about, like, we've got a chance here. Like, that's going to give them the hope they need, and that's definitely what I'm hoping for the side of CrownZero, hoping that they've, unlocked a bit of themselves here, and maybe even Nickett will be able to get himself into a position where he's able to find a few more of these engagements in his favor.
Yeah,
2 canisters from Goyo in pocket, by the way. Why? We're 20 seconds into the round.
Not finished with the setup. I don't know. Yeah, he just threw him. So. Oh, Goyo. Sorry, Goyo. I was starting to think about what my sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, he just placed them, but yeah, just a bit of a slow setup.
Weird. Like, I don't think it should take that long.
Yeah, I don't know. Like in the end, he did place them luckily, so they are now in position. Just a bit later. Maybe he was doing some other sort of setup. I mean, he used at least one of his impacts so far, so maybe it had something to do with that. But at least it's all ready now. Flores drones already coming in, looking for that deployable shield, which it does look like it is going to find. The Flores so far being effective on weakening the defensive setup here from the side of CrownZero. And well, it's only enough finds the first kill onto Yuki. That's the Frost taken care of, Lash.
Indeed it is, but also Thermite kind of found one of her gadgets, and that's the kind of thing that makes her very similar to the comparison everyone used with the Aegis. And that is the fact that she just has passive utility. Her utility is down, doesn't even have to think about it. If she wants to think about it, she can, but she doesn't have to. Because realistically, this Thermite is now not only debuffed, but they didn't bring a finger, so they can't fix it. And he's also on 20 health. So he's slow, he can't sprint, he has 20 HP. If he gets into a gunfight with anybody, he's basically screwed.
Yep.
So he now has to play passive and conservatively on these like off angles to try and catch anyone out before they can catch him. There goes Flores doing the exact same thing onto the Shrine Frostmat, gets himself caught. Now it's a 1 versus 3, yes, in favor of the attackers.
Yeah.
But it really shouldn't be. Not after 2 of the attackers jump into Frostmats.
No, that's definitely not a good thing from the attack, but even worse from the side of CrownZero that they are now finding themselves in such a disadvantage and, well, not even aware of Pizza being on the breach, not even looking in their direction, not even bothering it. A free kill here for Pizza puts CrownZero here on the 6th round. It's a 6 point for them on this final map of today, which means like map and match point for them. CrownZero, however, 2 rounds behind on their opponent. If they still want to have a chance to win this matchup today, they need to win the 4 rounds on a row. Definitely possible on the defense, but tricky as well. There's just no room for error whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely very tricky as we move into the potential final round of this matchup. We are going to be bringing along a relatively similar lineup. Things look relatively exactly the same on the defense, and on the attack it looks pretty unchanged as well. I think something that's pretty interesting is the fact that if they've just placed a what even was that? We had like 4 players that had like their reinforcement. See on Future's thing there, he's got like the Banshee thing behind the reinforcement. While he's placing the reinforcement.
Oh, yeah.
Very
indeed.
weird. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, that. I think that's a spectator bug, a new one.
It looks like
Whenever they're placing their gadgets, they have the reinforcement logo as well. So, just looking at how this is going so far, I don't quite know what his army's doing. I think she was trying to reinforce the wall, but the mute placing the jammer there was denying her, so...
yeah. Oh, with this, what is it? The 9th rounds now starting here. We're now, we're just looking at CrownZero. Of course, we really hope that they are gonna at least win some more defensive rounds here. This should really favor them so much as it did for the side of PBX, who went with a 1-5 score into the roll swap. So at least getting a few rounds here on the board for CrownZero would definitely be desired. But with PBX now finding themselves on the map / match point, the pressure is on for CrownZero, which might weigh them down even further. Attacks are already putting loads of pressure, weakening some of the defensive setup and destroying it as well. Getting ready to enter the building, finding those frost traps. Hopefully they don't step in it this time. Frost already has been taken care of. Now they just need to take care of those frost traps and don't step in it.
Indeed, and as the Azami just playing very close to this breach. He wants to play that run out, and that is pretty standard. Everyone knows about it. Everyone goes for it. But with it being a 4 versus 5 situation, you can't really be taking those risks. You can't be moving like that. Otherwise, you are going to be in a pretty sour position.
Yeah,
Sweater might just like flew there. At least for a second. That looked really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we're just having 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Floors drones are doing their work on destroying even more utility and creating some verticality if they need to as well. Just putting pressure on those defenders, making sure that it's harder and harder to defend their own bomb site. After which they will soon start making their move. Naked with a kill there onto Vods, and Rizzler with a kill there onto Future brings us to a 3 versus 4. And with the last minute now starting as well. Rizzler get another kill on Fleek. Ollie with a kill onto Naked. This might be it here for PBX as they might now secure this final last kill. All they need to do is find Loki, take care of him to win the round and win the map. And they do. They win the map with a 7-2 score, 2-7 as I should say. And therefore they also win this matchup here against CrownZero.
Indeed, that is the case. Very unfortunate for the side of CrownZero, but I realistically think it was very poorly played by both sides in the defensive halves. And I think that, I mean, both teams could definitely do with having a quick look back over these and just seeing what they can
We're having a bit of issue here. Yep.
learn
There
from
we
it.
go. There we go. Yeah, that was a very interesting and actually rather short map, Nash. I was actually really expecting this map to, well, go a bit more back and forward, especially once the roll stop had happened. Like the side of CrownZero had a perfect opportunity to secure some more rounds here once they went to the defense. But in the end, they only managed to win 1 out of the 3 defensive rounds, which is very unfortunate, really.
Yeah, I think just generally speaking, there was a lot of issues with the defense. There was a lot of issues with team cohesion in general. And I think that both teams do have a lot that they can look at in this game and change in order to fix for future play days. And well, there goes my camera dying.
Well, that's actually perfect. Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah,
Let's just
pretty perfect timing.
Yeah. Oh, in the end here, we have also the updated standings here, Nash. We can actually quickly look at that instead of your dying camera. As you can see, Project Black Axe making it as the 3rd team there in the 3-1 section. So qualified now for the next section of the next stage, really the playoffs, the bracket, where then CrownZero is now being sent to the 2-2, the 5th round, the final set of matches that is happening in 2 weeks from now. But of course, before we head over to that section, we still have the low section of round 4, where there seems like Entropy, E-Wave, there's Uke 141, there's MG Aspire, there's Monster, and Asgard. So there's still 3 beautiful matches coming up next week. All elimination matches, all with unlimited overtime enabled. One thing that we haven't seen in round 3 in those elimination matches, unfortunately, but it's something that we might see next week in those elimination matches. And well, Nash, talking about those matches that are happening next week, we have the first one here showing on a stream right now. It's going to be happening next week, Monday. That's actually going to be a banger of a match because, well, E-Wave hasn't really been doing too well this season, really, in ESA Cup. But they did do quite well at the LAN. I do think that the lineup of E-Wave was quite different at the one that we have here at ESA Cup. So it might not really reflect on each other, but Entropy and E-Wave did play at the LAN as well. I believe that even at one point, Entropy, I don't know, actually, I'm not 100% sure of the scores here, but at least the matches got pretty close. And both teams played pretty well. But also Entropy being an elimination match is something that we haven't seen for ages, really, as they have reigned this competition for quite a long time. So they're now finding themselves in a very tricky situation. And, well, seeing either of these 2 teams being eliminated next week, Monday, would be very sad. But it's going to happen either way. The question is just, who is it going to be? Well, Nash, that's it for tonight, right?
Yeah, me think so.
Yeah, your camera has already said goodbye to us anyway.
Yeah.
So for now, I would say let's just wish our viewers a very good evening. Let's thank them for being here and also the teams for playing. And well, we hope to all see you next week, Monday at 7:30 CET, as you can see on your screen right now, as we'll then be back with yet another match, the low section of round 4. So everyone, have a very good evening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.